My friend doesn't prioritize our relationship anymore, so I refuse to accommodate her.
No friendship, no accommodation.
I, 36 female, have a friend, Mila, of 5 years, 35 female. We share the same cultural background and together with our parents have shared many social activities over the years. And together with our partners have shared many social activities over the years. Although we live on opposite sides of the city, almost an hour apart, we've shared intimate details of our personal lives, and I've always appreciated her acceptance and support as I healed from a very difficult no contact family situation. By the way, this comes from Honk Not on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So when I got married 2 years ago, she didn't hesitate to help organize the wedding and to be a witness for our marriage certification. It was the sweetest surprise to find out on our wedding night that I was pregnant. A couple of weeks later, Mila video called me to announce the news that she too was pregnant.
Yo, this is crazy.
Oh, that's so cool.
This is a lot going on. Like, you guys are in sync.
And was about 3 weeks further along than me. I was delighted. Every week we text each other for pregnancy updates. It was so nice to go through pregnancy with a friend. Fast forward to when our babies were a few months old. We managed to meet up for brunch once, but the weekly texts had stopped. Soon I began seeing photos on social media of her out and about, frequently with two mothers from her local parents group, Sal and Gia. I too had a parents group, but it wasn't all that socially active. Mila previously had mentioned that I should come over to her house for a play date and stay all day since I live so far away. But a few weeks later, she changed her offer to a short visit of just a couple of hours. I was disappointed, but drove the hour across town and back to see her anyways. On another occasion, Mila invited me on a group trip to the zoo last minute. When I got there, I couldn't help wondering whether she invited me because Gia dropped out. I got along fine with Sal. During our introductions, I mentioned my daughter's birthday and she exclaimed that her son was the same. A few more months went by, but the contact between Mila and I became sparse. Every time I texted her to start a conversation, she would say she has to go do something and had to end it fairly quickly. Meanwhile, she, Sal, and Gia became the bestest of buds, doing just about everything together. Then Mila traveled overseas. While abroad, she kept in regular touch with Sal and Gia by text and video call. I got no messages. Our babies were around 9 months old now, and it was time to begin plans for first birthdays. I sent Mila the invitation to my daughter's party more than 2 months in advance. She informed me that she already had been invited to Sal's son's birthday party on the same day at around the same time. I asked her what she wanted to do, and she said she wasn't sure. A few minutes later, she texted to ask how big my party was going to be, because Sal was having a big one and she'd hate to miss it.
Oh, really?
Dismayed and hurt by this line of questioning, I kept cool and replied that we are having a low-key event with close friends. A few hours passed, and then she replied, I know it's a stretch, but do you think you could change your party to the following day? I really want to wish my daughter a happy birthday. The audacity.
I'm sorry, you want me to change my newborn's birthday?
Sure, I could change my daughter's birthday party day to a different day for you. Of course.
You can come the next day and be like, happy birthday, here's a gift. Like, I feel like she said that.
Gobsmacked and further wounded, I responded with, sorry, no, we prefer to celebrate my daughter's birthday on the actual day.
Yeah.
Now I'm reconsidering our friendship. I feel like I have been utterly disrespected by Mila and sad at the thought that motherhood has driven us apart rather than bringing us close together. I think she stopped putting effort into our 5-year friendship now that she has a new local clique. So I didn't want to change our plans and bend over backwards for someone who probably would not reciprocate. Am I the a-hole? I think these new friends are richer and are at a higher status.
100%.
And OP is not meeting that, and they're like, ooh, actually, and Mila's like playing the whole politics game.
Losing a 5-year friendship because
tough.
you guys were so close.
It was going to be so fun being mothers together, too. I was looking so hopeful to this. Responding to a couple of common questions, I know Mila contacted Sal and Gia while overseas because she would make cutesy social posts about her baby missing his best friends and FaceTiming with them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, not these kind of parents. And to those asking why I responded to the way I did when Mila said there was a party clash, I didn't want her to dance around the topic and make me decline the invite for her. I wanted her to have a spine and just say no thanks, rather than to continue to insult me with indecision.
Yeah.
So here's the update. Well, It got worse before it got better. Mila eventually declined my invitation, and I was okay with that. I replied that perhaps when we next talk in person, we could discuss two things. Firstly, how to deal with such a situation in the future, as this birthday clash with her friend's son will happen every year. And secondly, that we should discuss how much importance she places on physical distance for friendship, because I plan to move even further across town in the next coming months. She responded simply with a sad face emoji and later insisted on catching up with me for a play date the day prior to my daughter's party, somewhere halfway between us. Venue options were slim, and we ended up on agreeing to a play center more on her side of town. I pointed out that it wasn't halfway for me, and she replied that she knew and always appreciated me coming out this far to see her. I see the give and take in this relationship.
100%.
You're just asking her to give a little bit, and you still have to give a lot.
She literally is like, let's meet halfway. There is at least one place center halfway. And she said, just come to the one that's on my part of town.
This one's 20 minutes away from me. Like, they probably find a place 30 minutes away, and OP has to travel 40, and she has to travel 20.
Friendship's not good here.
In the meantime, I was humbled to receive more RSVPs than expected, and upgraded my daughter's party to a larger venue to accommodate everyone. During the lead up to the party, I felt it was rather insensitive of Mila to send me an invite to a paid playground that Sal was hosting out of her home. I feel like Mila was on another planet at this point. Mila showed up to our play date with her husband. I'm pretty sure she did that to avoid the serious conversation I wanted to have about our friendship. Not wanting to immediately force her into anything she didn't want to discuss. We carried on with pleasantries for a while. In passing, she mentioned that Sal's son's birthday is actually the day after my daughter's. I was very confused because Sal had told me at the zoo that our children shared a birthday. I didn't know who to believe now. Then came the ultimate insult to injury. About an hour into the play date, she looks out the window and smiles. I follow her gaze and see Sal and Gia striding up with their palms waving at us. Mila quickly said, "Oh, I hope you don't mind they're here."
What the F?
Oh my gosh, dude. What? Come on.
This is supposed to be like a you and me thing, and then you invited your gal group.
I'm pretty sure your kids playing on the playground have been fighting over a toy, and they probably resolved their issues way better than you are doing this, Mila.
1,000,000,000%. Like, OP is my toy, and I got tired of this toy. I got two new toys that are much more shinier. They have prettier things, and they're within closer reach. I want to play with those toys.
I was too shocked to say anything and numbly shook my head. I wasn't going to make a scene or tell them to leave, of course, but I reasonably assumed this was an outing specifically for the two of us to make up for Mila not wanting to attend my daughter's party. I wanted to leave then and there, bit my tongue and stayed polite, trying to take the high road and confirming I wanted to leave right then and there. Bit my tongue and stayed polite, trying to take the high road and confirming in my mind that this is what the final straw is. I had traveled too far to walk out now. I was going to get my money's worth at this play center. Mila had already told Sal about my updated party plans, and then they both asked me many questions about the new venue. I should have taken this as the opportunity to confront them both about this mysterious of Sal's son and his actual birthday, and why Sal chose to not have her party on the following day if Mila was indeed telling the truth. But at the end of the day, I concluded that it was an irrelevant exercise. Besides, I was too focused on remaining stoic to form an interrogation of my own. I drove home with my daughter and dedicated myself to getting ready for her big day.
As you should.
And we have a big day every day on YouTube at 3 p.m. PST. During the week, all you gotta do is have a profile.
Tap.
Is it time to cut off Mila? Cut her off?
Well, I wanted to know the situation between like all the kids and how their relationship is all together.
Yeah.
Because they're like apparently like we're growing up together. That's good to have friends, sure. But yeah, I'm done. At the end of the day, you're doing what's best for now your kid.
Yeah. In OP's case, if this person is becoming into a mad person, it's okay to end a 5-year relationship.
100%. 5 years may seem like a lot, but 5 fun years with your daughter is going to be infinite.
The party was a great success. It was better than I could have ever imagined.
Let's go.
We had a delicious cake, cupcakes, and finger food, unlimited drinks, a dedicated party host, and private room with access to all attractions in the larger venue. Everyone had great fun, and I was glad in the end that Mila made the choices she did, revealing her true character. I plan plan to treat her like a distant acquaintance from now on and may eventually drop contact altogether.
There you go.
I will certainly not be inviting her to my daughter's birthday celebrations next year. If she complains, I will not hesitate to explain why. The party gave me an opportunity to reconnect with old friends from previous life stages who also became parents recently and were making plans to move into a larger house in a family-friendly area. So the future looks promising. Thank you to everyone who commented. I really appreciate it, and I love your work. I think that was the best thing to do, and it's okay to go local contact with people.
No, 100%, and then see if she understands the situation and see what her move is. If she can't make a compromise or at least meet you halfway or even work towards like how you work, your end of the friendship, if she doesn't do that, reciprocate it, no point.
I drank too much and flirted with an engaged coworker. I think my career is over. I've been at this company since March, and before that, I worked a retail job. So this was the first company holiday party I've been to. In retrospect, I did a lot wrong, and I embarrassed myself. By the way, this comes from Unselfconscious Litter on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I have a male coworker that I have a crush on. I have not told him as he's engaged. We hang out with other coworkers outside of work, and he has slept over at my place once with other coworkers since we are all wasted and it was late. I try to be as respectful as I can of his relationship. I thought at one point he may return the feelings towards me, but he has not said anything and is still with his fiancé. We are close friends in the office, and I would hate to ruin things for everyone. It was my company's holiday party last night. It was at a nice hotel, Wienertail attire. I got together with some of the women from my office to get ready before. We pre-gamed before. I wound up having way too much to drink. I do not remember a lot of the night. I remember talking to my male coworker a lot, drinking a speech here and there, food from my throw up, but that's it. I know this will be the last time I drink so heavily at these events. I woke up at my coworker's house this morning. My two female coworkers told me they had to drag me away from the party since I was so wasted and making a scene. They told me I spent the night flirting with my male coworker whose fiancé came with him.
Oh, God.
As the tale says, he introduced me to his fiancé, and then I sort of went off the rails. I apparently flirted with him in front of her before someone led me away. When he went to the bar alone, I tried to share a drink with him. When he was alone again, I asked him to dance, and when he said no, I tried. When he refused, I got upset and asked why he didn't like me. Apparently, this was overheard by a lot of my coworkers. At the end of the night, I was making a scene and going on about things, and they finally brought me home. Since they tried before and I wouldn't go. I am embarrassed. I'm never drinking again at a company event. I ruined my friendship with him, most likely. I was invited to his wedding. I doubt they'd want me to go now. I did this in front of my boss and all of my coworkers. I wish I could say that people were too busy to notice, but I was making such a scene that one of my coworkers took a video of me going off at one point. I know I can be a jealous person, but this is an ugly side of me that I have never seen and never want to see again. I realize I may have deeper feelings for my coworker than I believed, but that isn't an excuse to act like that. This sounds like a rom-com.
How would you feel if you were OP right now? What would you do? What's the first thing you do after getting sober?
Immediately apologize.
Nah, crawling in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, you that's what one would want to do.
That's what I'm doing.
Especially his. We can't do that. We can't do that.
We can't.
I think you have to sit down and you okay, let me flesh out this all the things of the apology, which should include it was absolutely unacceptable. You don't deserve that. Your wife doesn't deserve that. As of right now, I was thinking of not coming to the wedding just to give you guys peace of mind. I want to make sure from this second onwards, I'm doing absolutely as much as I can to respect you. And if you don't want to, kind of converse and kind of be chummy anymore and kind of keep our healthy distance, totally fine.
Yeah.
And yeah.
My main things are, how should I act at work now? Should I apologize to him, to my coworkers? Should I act like it never happened? Can I smooth things over with him? We have a solid friend group from work, and I don't want to ruin that. How can I get over the shame here? We have an update. I'm diving in.
Ooh, let's go.
Dive.
Since people are asking for an update, I've got you one. A lot has happened in the past week, plus that I have posted. I went in that Monday. Actually ran into my coworker in the elevator. Tried to speak to him. Clearly a mistake. I apologized to him, and he told me that he never had any feelings for me. Always viewed me as a friend and coworker. and not to speak to him. He actually got off earlier than he was going to. I wound up being called to the good old HR department. They were investigating the events of the party. That's so weird, investigating in the events that happen.
It's true.
It's like a crime scene.
That's what they do.
I mean, it was a technical crime.
Apparently, more than one. But that's no excuse. They had some videos of me which were humiliating and worse than what was described to me. They were getting the rest of the people who were there to give them a written account if they saw anything. Long story short, they gave me a choice of quitting or getting fired after the investigation was done. Get fired. Again,
True.
so what they had, I would have been fired. I choose to quit. Okay. Come on. I was friendly with the HR person, and I think she was trying to help me by offering me a chance to quit before they could fire me. My male coworker did complain to them about what had happened at the party. He actually went to HR right after I tried to talk to him in the elevator. I know I should have listened to the people more here. I have been talking to my alma mater about getting a job there, starting the application process, and going to be moving closer to home. Nothing is happening much right now because of the holidays. I realized that my actions were harassment that night. I realized that I was in love with him, or at least I thought I was. I will be booking an appointment with a therapist next year once I figure out my job situation, since I want to find one where I will be living and figure out insurance. I did talk to one of my female coworkers who I would consider a friend. She was very apologetic that she did not get me out of there earlier and admitted she thinks she egged me on with him. Alas, this is not her fault, and I told her so.
Yeah.
No.
You don't know how far OP was gone.
My advice to people is not to drink too much at a work event and to be professional there. Other people
Good
did
advice.
stuff at the party too, and I heard about all that after I left. Everyone does stupid things at the Christmas party is something I told myself after this. I wish I realized this before. I tried to tell my roommate this before her holiday, which she also pre-gamed. And she was a wasted mess there. And you can be a wasted mess every weekday at 3 p.m. PST by tapping our profile and joining us on YouTube. Would you quit? I wouldn't have quit.
I think, the first step would be apologizing to him, although...
She tried to.
She did. Although I was going to say it's tough because it's like a face-to-face is more like brave, quote unquote. But then also if you do it like written, then he does like, if he doesn't want to like interact with you or be seen interacting with you or whatever the case is, then it gives him the option to, maybe you could like write it out, send it an email and be like, would be happy to apologize also face-to-face. But also if you don't want to do that, like I 10 trillion % understand that too.
My last question for everyone here would be, I was told by my friend that my coworker's fiance was very upset that night. Should I reach out to her via Facebook or another way and apologize and explain I do not want to cause problems in that relationship? Edit, seeing as many people have made the comment about it being stupid to quit because I would lose unemployment benefits, I would not have gotten them in my state if I was fired for spicy sleep abusement. They had plenty of evidence, so I would prefer not to have to explain why I was fired to the next company I apply to. I may have made some bad choices, but I am not that dumb.
But she's getting her unemployment benefits or whatever, right?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't get them in her state.
Yeah, she doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah, because they were like, don't quit your job.
Yeah.
You're going to get unemployment if you get fired.
But she already, yeah.
My husband's family made my wedding so chaotic, I'm sick of them.
That's me when I'm around my husband's family.
Now, I see why some people have destination weddings to price out the effery. This past summer, I found and married my soulmate in my mid-40s. He's in his mid-50s. We've both been through so much and deserved this moment. How did I know that it was meant to be? Everything that went wrong that day ended up working out and came together beautifully. For instance, my shoe strap broke minutes before walking down the aisle. The shoes I wore there worked and were just as beautiful. My bouquet also didn't show up. By the way, this comes from AITA on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So there were some flowers just lying around the bridal suite that matched my colors, and my photographer's sister took the satin sash from my white robe, and that was my bouquet. Problem solving.
Yes, modern problems require modern solutions.
How I got my full refund for the missing bouquet is another post for another day. My mother-in-law is in her final stage of and couldn't make it. Oh, she passed almost 6 months later, but she got to watch it on Zoom. It was an outdoor wedding and rain was predicted, but the wind blew the storm in another direction. I stopped smoking last year, gained 40 pounds, and still fit my size 6 dress. It was a small yet elegant and very expensive wedding, but all in all, it was a lovely day. Now to the meat of the story. My original plan was to have one flower girl and a ring bearer. I had my one and only grandson in mind to be my ring bearer, but he lives 8 states away and was starting school around that time, so he couldn't make it. My brother-in-law's son was my other option, but he's 3, the same age as my grandson, and was preparing for open heart surgery?
Wow.
So, of course, he or his parents couldn't attend. Understood. Our flower girl is the daughter of a close female friend of my fiancé, now husband, but I still needed a ring bearer. So I thought of my husband's stepbrother's 2-year-old son. He also has a 5-year-old sister, so I have a ring bearer finally, and now 2 flower girls. I excitedly told Bae this, and he gave me a look that said, "Babe, no." His stepbrother is a great guy, but his children are rambunctious and lack discipline because of their mother's neglect and lack of awareness due to her MH diagnosis. I thought, just how hard was it to walk down the aisle once carrying a ring box and a basket of rose petals and just throw them? Ladies, always listen to your husband. Okay, well,
Okay.
I don't know about that.
I guess I'll listen to my husband.
We mutually decided to also invite the mother's mother and her husband to help assist with her grandchildren. Problem solved, right? Wrong. The wedding suite / guest arrival. On one side of the room were the finger sandwiches, crudité, coffee, tea, and bottled water. The other room was where I was getting my hair and makeup done. The stepbrother and his family arrived. I had a staff member show him to the groom suite while his kids and the mother stayed and met the other mom and flower girl. I had to get up a few times. One, the stepbrother's kids started running around like freaking track stars from room to room.
Yeah, because they're like
2 and 5
children.
I got up to ask them to stop while their mother was just sitting there taking selfies. Almost as soon as I sat back down, I heard something shatter. I ran back in and the other mom looked at me and said that the ring bearer was playing with the tray of silverware. And you guessed it, his mom was still sitting around snapping selfies. Look, can you please watch your children? The other mom was annoyed but was trying not to say anything. 3, the kids started running around again. This time, the ring bearer had a dark colored beverage in his hand whilst running around. The other mom was quietly sitting with her daughter. My wedding dress, oh no, was openly hanging in the room where they were. So I grabbed the dress to hang it up where I was so I could keep my eyes on it.
Oh, thank God.
4, then the ring bearer spilled water all over the restroom floor. Now the staff had to get involved. One young man mopped up the water and the coordinator suggested that the kids go outside for a practice run with the baskets in the ring box. Great idea.
Yeah, just have them run around in circles.
Also, I feel like it's less like always listen to your husband and more like listen to your husband who knows his brother's kids and also knows his brother's wife. Now I can stay still and quietly finish my makeup and hair and take a few pre-ceremony photographs in peace. The ceremony has begun and I'm ready to walk down the aisle. I look and I can see my husband looking so handsome waiting for me. I looked over to my left towards the bar and the kid's grandmother was sitting there finishing a drink and she was intoxicated already. Because I was told that's where she's been since she arrived. Cocktail hour. My husband and I had taken some post-ceremony photographs before greeting our guests. I had gotten to the kid's grandmother, and after mentioning that her husband couldn't make it, she kept saying how good her grandchildren looked because they rarely dress up. Side note, I bought the kids' dress, suit, shoes, and a dress for their mother. I'll get to her dress later on in the post. The grandmother did reimburse me for the kids' shoes. Even my husband noticed how glazed her eyes were and was repeating herself. That's when I noticed that the kid's mom was having one drink after another. Now I see where she gets her drinking problem from.
It's how else are you supposed to take care of a dozen children?
Yeah. Reception.
Not like that, to be clear.
Not like that.
Not
I mean,
like that.
it's just like,
Not like this.
who's watching the kids? Reception. After the first dance and the welcoming speech, we all ate our meals. And yes, the kids were still running around. This was an outdoor event that was in a large wooded area where they could have gotten lost or worse. Now my husband is irritated. I'm not chasing these kids around on my wedding day, he said. I went to the table where the parents were sitting. Several empty bottles of Stella Artois littered the table in front of her plate. She usually drinks cheap stuff and was obviously taking full advantage of the top shelf stuff for free instead of watching her gremlins. And you can tell that dad was outdone, tired, and ready to leave. I asked them to try to get a grip on their kids because it was just getting embarrassing at this point. The DJ was set up indoors, so some of us went inside to dance. Most of the guests were still sitting around, eating, drinking, and getting acquainted. That was when I noticed that the kid's mother was dancing around on the dance floor with an open drink in her hand. I and a staff member had to tell her that if she spilled her drink on the dance floor and someone slipped and hurt themselves, my husband and I and the venue would be held liable.
That's murder on the dance floor.
But common sense isn't common with some people. Now time for the cake cutting. I looked around and saw them leaving. I ran to get them to come back for cake, and his stepbrother said, nah, we're going to leave now. Let them go.
Yeah, just
They've been
let
making
them leave.
problems the whole time. Let them leave.
You can let them not be there. That's okay.
Dude, stop. Stop trying to get them to come back. Then his girl/baby mama, or whoever she is to him, had a bottle in one hand and several bags of favors, macaroons, in the other, and said, we got these instead.
Got a bunch of macaroons.
We got the macaroons
We're the president
instead.
of France.
Okay, we don't need your cake. We got macaroons.
Emmanuel Macaroon.
She was supposed to have gotten one per person. How many did you take?
We very clearly stated a 1 per person macaroon limit.
Side note, the coordinator and staff set up the macaroons and the hand sanitizers in the lobby, but since the guests entered through the courtyard, most of them didn't know or see the setup, so I guess she thought it was a free-for-all.
Okay.
The only issue I had with the stepbrother, as nice of a guy as he is, was his acting powerless over the behavior of his family. When I invited them, his only concern was they did not have clothing suitable for a wedding. I told him that it was an outdoor wedding in mid-August and to come as casual as he liked. He shows up in like a tracksuit. Like, I came casual as I liked.
I showed up in my LeBron James jersey and a pair of jorts.
You said I could come casual.
I don't even think this is casual. I'm dressed up.
I bought the kids attire, and I did buy a dress for their mother because 1, I was worried about what she was going to show up looking like, and 2, for optics because she was likely going to walk down the aisle with her children. I bought her one of those cocktail dresses, the one in which you can adjust the strap 20 different ways, halter, one shoulder, crossback, etc. Of all the ways she could have worn that dress, she chose the bandeau style. There are a lot of different ways that you can listen to this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Already?
You can find full episodes with stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio. Just search up OK Storytime.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave.
Let them leave. Let them leave.
Let them leave. And when your partner or just anyone in your life says, hey, these family members kind of stinky. They're going to cause problems. Maybe we don't want them actively participating in the wedding.
Listen to your husband.
Listen to your husband, ladies.
I did not like the way that was written.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Listen to your husband, ladies.
I didn't like that either because that wasn't the.
All you ladies out there not listening to your men, you gotta listen to them
The
because of
point
this
of it is
one
not
thing
that he's
happened.
a man or your husband. And the point of it is that he knows his brother.
Yeah, would you just listen to people who have
Experience.
knowledge about things?
Yeah.
Like, listen to the doctor telling you things.
She is a double D at best, and her nipples were nippling.
Ooh.
I would have bought her a pair of pasties if I'd known she needed them, but that was the responsibility of her man and or her mama to make sure she was decent.
How about it was not either of those people? It was her.
It was her.
It was her, the grown woman who takes
Yeah.
care of herself.
I feel like OP is really on the listen to your man
Come
train.
on, dude. What are we doing?
You should see those thirst traps she posted on Instagram on a daily basis and wonder why her baby daddy has not or will not marry her.
Okay.
You made a lot of judgments, OP. Let's
All right.
reel them back in.
Let's step down from the bench.
Let's reel back in these
Your Honor.
judgments.
Okay.
Her mother had one job to do, make sure her grandchildren were under control, and she couldn't do that. Watching how well-behaved the other flower girl was truly a breath of fresh air. She and her new baby brother will forever hold a special place in her heart. And that is the end of that story. My parents blew off my wedding for a vacation, so I cut them off. Snip, snip. So yeah, I got married 3 weeks ago and my parents and my brother weren't there. There were never any particular episodes of favoritism when I was a child, but I always understood that they preferred my brother to me just because he was a boy. My father is very fixated on that legacy thing, surnames and other BS like this, and he kept him on a silver platter on an emotional level. By the way, this comes from deleted on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, however, this marked me and I grew up rather unloving towards them. I have no emotional attachment to my parents, and our relationship is cold and polite. When I sent out the invitations for my wedding a year and a half ago, everyone had confirmed their participation, but 2 weeks before the wedding, my parents sent me a message saying that my brother had received a promotion at work and wanted to celebrate with his girlfriend and my parents with a little 3-day trip out of town. Too bad that my wedding day was in the middle of those 3 days. They asked me if I could move the date. OP's already sent out the invitations a year and a half ago.
I think we know which one's going to be a little bit more difficult to shift around, right?
OP sent out the invitations a year and a half ago, 2 weeks before the wedding. Their parents were like, hey,
Would it maybe be
could
cool?
you just move it next weekend?
Just like push it just a little.
There was no way I would do something like that when everything had already been paid and confirmed, just because they preferred to go party with my brother? But I knew if I refused, they would start a scene, so I thought for a while and decided to respond with a neutral, do what you prefer. It obviously wasn't a yes, but they took it as such and left. I didn't care at all, honestly, and asked my uncle to walk me down the aisle. My uncle knows the situation in my family and has always been very loving and supportive of me, filling the emotional void of my parents. So he was very happy when I asked him. The wedding day went well. It was beautiful and emotional, and everyone important to me was there. That was all that mattered.
Good. That's a perfect
Yeah.
perspective to have.
It's just like knowing, the people that loved you were there.
And it's like, I feel like the parents' move right here is it's like they're doing the thing where it's like, all right, we know this is the bad thing. I know that my human heart feels like this is the wrong move, but if we ask her and she says it's okay, then I can absolve myself of all guilt.
Of course, some close relatives asked why my parents weren't there, and I answered frankly that they had preferred to go on a trip with my brother. I had no reason to defend them, and I didn't care to. My grandmother didn't take it well and muttered something impolite against my parents and my brother, but except this, the day went smoothly. The next day, however, my relatives and friends started posting photos of the wedding on social media. I did too. And my parents saw them. They tried to call me several times after that, but I never answered. My husband and I were getting ready to leave for our honeymoon and didn't feel like wasting time with them. Shortly after, my grandmother texted me asking why I told my parents I was postponing the wedding when I hadn't. I simply replied to her, feigning confusion, and also sent her the screenshot of the conversation with my reply to my parents, telling her that I never said I would change the date, but simply told them to do what they wanted. Why did you assume that she changed the date?
Because
I mean, you
they
know
just
what?
wanted that absolution. They want to, this is no one's fault anymore. This is just a misunderstanding, or it's you said it was okay, whatever.
If you're foolish enough to ask a person 2 weeks before their wedding to change the date, then yeah, foolish enough to believe that they changed it.
It's the same thing as it's like you have a girlfriend and you're like, babe, I want to maybe hang out with my bros tonight. She's like, I mean, yeah, do whatever you want. You know that's not go to your bro's house. You know that's not.
I know my grandmother called them back and gave them all kinds of crap, including lying to her about my real answer to their question. And they started texting me apologetically about how we had misunderstood each other, that they should have asked for more specific confirmation and talked about it better instead of interpreting my answer their way, and that they wished I had another ceremony so they could be there. I took the time to just tell them that there was no misunderstanding, that I had explicitly told them to do what they wanted, and they had done exactly that. They had preferred to go to a last-minute party with their son instead of attending their daughter's wedding that was planned a year and a half ago, and that I would not have another ceremony now or ever, because if they had really wanted to go, they would have never asked me in the first place to postpone my wedding, but they would have asked my brother to postpone his little trip. After that, I blocked them because I didn't want to be bothered by them anymore. When I came back from my honeymoon a few days ago, I found out that the situation in the family has degenerated quite a bit. My grandma was so mad at them that she stopped talking to them. My uncle and my dad had a fight because my uncle agreed to walk me down the aisle, and he threw it in their faces that if they hadn't chosen my brother, this wouldn't have happened. So they should have just shut up and take the crap they threw at themselves. I know my brother was also cut off because he planned the party on my wedding day on purpose, and now he's trying every way he can to get back in touch with my grandma and uncle, but with no success. I honestly think they deserved it, and I don't care what happens to them from now on, except that my brother's girlfriend texted me asking to talk and resolve this huge misunderstanding. I blocked her too, but part of me wants to confront them and throw their hypocrisy in their face in person. But I don't want to waste time with them for a childish desire. My husband says I did the right thing and his family agrees with me too. Maybe I should just go to therapy to sort out this emotional mess my parents have caused me and work to get over it. By the way, you should never get over us because we've got full episodes with stories just like this if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a last update to finish off this story.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I feel like there's more info that we're not getting. I need more
Potentially.
backstory. I need more
So.
info. I need other events.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they just didn't even care to be at your wedding, which
Yeah.
sucks.
The fact that they didn't show up, like, why didn't the brother show up?
Yeah, there was a party, I
There was a
guess.
party? I'm like-
an opportunity to have a cool vacation or something.
Ridiculous. They've proven to you who they care about, and you know who cares about you. So it's just like at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's the clearest, like, hey, can we, like, maybe, can you move your wedding back like a week and then we go do this thing? Do whatever you want. That's not all right, cool. She said she'd move that whole wedding back and we can go do whatever we want.
Yeah. That's like not even willful ignorance. That's just like you knew.
Of course.
Absolutely.
You can't not
knew.
know.
Yeah.
There's times where you just know.
But
That's one of
there's a final update. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about it after reading the comments, and I talked to my husband about therapy. He also believes it can be good for me and help me overcome the emotional damage my parents have caused me. So I'm looking for a good psychologist in my area to schedule a meeting. I heard from my grandmother that my parents have sought support for the rest of the family, hoping that someone could convince me to contact them and organize another ceremony. But they haven't found one single family member willing to agree with them. Every attempt has failed. They have always received only criticism, but the final blow was given to them by my father's sister when she pointed out to them that given the huge demand they made, they could at least have offered to pay the money that my husband and I could have lost with the catering, the location, the photographer, given the short notice in which they wanted me to change the date. They were shocked. And my dad could only respond with, "That's a lot of money." Yeah. To which-
yeah. Wait. Oh my God, Dad. Yeah. And guess who would have had to pay all that if I moved my wedding back a whole week?
Me. To which my aunt responded with, "Oh, so you knew OP could lose all that money, but you still asked her to reschedule the wedding?" My grandmother laughed with satisfaction as she told me this and said that after that, my parents just walked away and never opened up about it with anyone in the family again. I think they humiliated themselves enough by doing this, and I don't want to confront them anymore, so it's a step forward. But I don't plan on getting back in touch with them yet. Now, I just want to wait and see how therapy goes. And that is the end of that story.
I removed my sister-in-law from my wedding party because she never cared about it.
You never cared in the first place.
I, female 21, and my husband, male 22, got married when I was 19. For some background, we had known each other for 9 years at that point and dated for 3. By the way, this comes from user randomwriter0 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I wanted a really chill wedding. My family doesn't have a ton of money, so we kept the wedding on a tight budget, which I was completely fine with. We got the cheapest venue we could find, the cheapest catering, and so on. I had 6 bridesmaids in my wedding party. My 2 sisters, 2 cousins, my sister-in-law, and a friend. Sister-in-law isn't technically my husband's sister, however. She was raised by my husband's dad, but never actually was adopted. He considers her his sister. It was really important to my husband that she be in the wedding. I was super excited to include her and assumed she would be very happy as well. She's over a decade older than the both of us and is married and has children, but this would be the first wedding she would have been in. When we asked her to be in the wedding, she said yes, of course, and seemed excited. I was soon to find out I was wrong. First, I selected bridesmaid dresses that were $30 each. They were dresses that could be styled 20 different ways, and I had 2 shades of pink. 3 bridesmaids would be in one shade and the other 3 in another. Now, not that it matters, but sister-in-law is pretty well off financially, so a $30 dress is nothing. I kept it very cheap because I couldn't afford to buy all the dresses and would never ask my loved ones to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a dress for one specific day. Everyone bought the dresses right away, 6 months before the wedding, except for sister-in-law. I asked them all to send pictures of the dresses, and they did. And again, except for sister-in-law. After about a month, I texted sister-in-law and asked if she had bought the dress. She said she didn't know when she was supposed to order it. I sent the link again and told her it takes about a month for the dress to arrive, so please order as soon as possible. We're now 4 months away from the wedding. I sent out invitations to my bridal shower. That was in 4 weeks. Everyone RSVP'd, and I was so excited to see them all. The day of, sister-in-law texted and said she couldn't make it due to one of her kids being sick. This made perfect sense to me, and I had no problem with it at all. I'm not sure why her husband couldn't stay at home, but that wasn't my problem. After the bridal shower, we sent out invites for the bachelorette party, which was really just a chill dinner with all my close friends and bridesmaids. These invites were sent a month before the event. Sister-in-law RSVP'd just like everyone else. Then the day of comes. She texted me and said she had to work. I found this odd since her job isn't one that is on call, but I said no worries and I would see her at the rehearsal. Then the rehearsal day rolls around. Can we make a guess what's gonna happen?
I would bet every last dollar to my name she's not ready for
Is
the
it
wedding.
third time's the charm? Do you think it's third? Maybe it's third time's the charm.
She's unprepared. She's going to go, I thought I could just wear whatever I wanted.
Maybe she doesn't have her dress yet either.
Oh, well, we know that.
Yeah. Then the rehearsal day rolls around. The day before my wedding. Everyone is at the venue helping set up and decorate. I receive a text from sister-in-law. She says she is sick and won't be able to make it to the rehearsal and possibly the wedding.
Dude, at this point, just say you don't want to go. Just be honest. It's like you're not fooling anyone at this point.
I ask her if I need to find a replacement bridesmaid, as I have a friend who I'd gotten very close to over the wedding planning time. She tells me yes, and that she doesn't think it would be wise for her to be in the wedding and risk getting me or anyone else sick. I agreed and apologized. You had nothing to apologize for. I mean, maybe you're like, oh, I'm sorry you're sick, and that sucks.
We have the additional insight that this person just like didn't want to have anything to do with the wedding anyway. So we, at this point, know that this is probably BS. But in the moment, sure, it's like
it could be the benefit of the doubt. Maybe, again, it just crap happens. Crap happens, and ironically, it's just on very specific days for this wedding.
Well, I mean, a lot of this story has taken place over months.
Yeah. I then asked my friend's mom, who was helping decorate, if her daughter would be my bridesmaid. She was so ecstatic and immediately left to buy her daughter's shoes for the wedding and pick her up from the track. I then see my mother-in-law on the phone. I had been talking to my husband the whole time about what was going on, so he knew that the sister-in-law had told me to find a replacement and wouldn't be in the wedding. As soon as mother-in-law gets off the phone, I get a text from sister-in-law saying, never mind, she wants to be in the wedding. You are outrageously, oh God, you're annoying.
Annoying.
Now, first of all, you're either sick and can't be in the wedding, and I sure as heck don't want to be sick, or second, you're lying. Now, I'm panicking because I have to either tell my friend, never mind, and remove her from the wedding party, or tell my sister-in-law she can't be in the wedding. My husband starts telling me that I need to kick my friend back out and let sister-in-law be the bridesmaid.
Yeah, right.
I don't think it works like that. She said no, and we agreed that it was okay. This didn't make any sense to me, though, as she was supposedly too sick to even come to the wedding 30 minutes ago. My husband and I ended up getting into an argument and staying behind at the venue. Everyone had left to get lunch while we stayed back and talked about what to do. After discussing the fact that she literally told me to find someone else and how wrong it would be to then kick my friend back out, we both finally agreed to tell sister-in-law we had already replaced her. Of course, in a much nicer way. Yeah, that's fine. I hope she's understanding.
It's perfectly fine. I don't know how the husband didn't go. I mean, I know it's your sister, but like, dude, like she lied. She's being a liar.
She also this was communicated. Hey, she can come to the wedding, but she can't be a bridesmaid anymore. That sucks. My husband and I sat out the venue for 2 hours crying and trying to figure out what to do because we didn't want to hurt anyone. Sister-in-law was super understanding though and said she would drop the dress off for the other bridesmaid. This is very sweet. Okay. Everything seemed okay until sister-in-law texted again, saying she never opened her dress and just now realized she ordered the wrong one.
Did we have that one on the bingo card?
We did. I mean,
I had no dress at all.
I had no dress either, but
I didn't even have.
Am I surprised? Am I shocked at this point?
Surprise, surprise.
I was absolutely ticked. It was the wrong color and style. I went back to the link I had sent her to make sure it was correct. And guess what? It was. I had sent pictures of the dress, the description of the dress, and the correct link to the dress, and somehow she ordered a completely different one.
So now it's, did she do that on purpose? Did she purposefully order a different dress because she didn't like the bridesmaid dress?
I don't know. I don't care. It's my wedding. I just don't care. I have no energy to give to you. Whatever. Thankfully, I had planned to have the girls in different styles, so we made it work. And since the dress was a different shade of pink, it looked like I chose 3 shades. It was still absolutely infuriating, however, because it showed that she never cared about being a part of our wedding from the get-go. She came to the wedding, and I later found out she was never sick. She was in a fight with her husband and didn't feel like coming. So I think I made the right choice by having my friend by my side rather than someone who couldn't even be bothered to get the correct $30 dress or show up to anything leading up to the wedding. But you know what you can lead up to? Every weekday, 3 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, every weekday. Just tap that profile.
That's all it takes is a couple of taps. We might even be live right now, and you can go check that. But if you do that right now, you're gonna miss the end of the story.
We're gonna find out this could be a crazy wedding, and we don't care for sister-in-law.
I think this is all a perfect, like, her having never ordered the right dress and the lying and everything. It's all, it just shows it's like she didn't even need to be there.
No, she didn't
ever really care about celebrating OP and her brother getting married. She was just like, I guess this will be a fun thing for me. And
I've never been a part of a wedding. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why you've never been a part of a wedding.
It certainly shows. But like,
how can you? Again,
I would have let her back in.
Selfish. You're selfish.
After
and you stink.
you bold-faced lie about being sick the day before and the day of the wedding, and then you try to flip it back around a half hour later and go, actually, I can go. I'm not letting you go. You're now uninvited.
I was like, are you sick? Or you lied to me. Oh, so you're a liar.
Well, because then it immediately.
I don't want a liar at my wedding.
It brings into question all of the other lies that she told about her kid being sick and about not being able to make it. At any other time.
Let us know in the comments, would you still invite her to the wedding?
Yeah.
Or you still have her come to the wedding? Because at this point, I'm like, you're like the boy you cried wolf. I don't care for you. And either you're lying and I don't want you in my wedding or at all in the vicinity of me because I'm infuriated with you, or you're sick, which again, second thing, I don't want you in my wedding because you're going to get everyone else sick.
Perfect.
Easy. But let's finish up the story. All this to say, brides, don't let people guilt you into having people you don't want in or at your wedding. Make sure you are surrounded by people who actually love and care about you.
Yes.
Our wedding day ended up being absolutely perfect, and it's my favorite memory to look back right now.
Yes!
The day before, however, I would like to leave in the past. Somehow, we made it through the entire wedding process with almost no drama or stress until the day before. It seems like there was always someone determined to make your wedding about them.
Oh boy, isn't that the truth?
Ain't that the way?
We always seem to be reading wedding stories of people thinking it's their day.
Guess what? It's not your day. It's their wedding, their rules. And guess what? You're not the only one experiencing this. So
yeah, you're not alone.
I'm happy for OP getting the wedding that she so deserved.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I'm very glad that is where the drama kind of stopped.
Let us know in the comments if you would still let her come, at least not be in the wedding, of course, but let her come to the wedding. That's another thing, but let us know in the comments. But again, that's the end of that story.
And we've got another one coming right up, so stick around.
I made my best friend my maid of honor, but now she's ghosting me? What? A bit of background. My maid of honor is my best friend from high school. For the sake of this post, her name will be Livy. By the way, this comes from LPG0516 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So, since the beginning of our friendship, I have known about Livy's traumatic background that has caused her to have severe PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I too come from a rough background, and we bonded over shared trauma. Livy has a tendency to isolate herself from everyone around her when she's extremely overwhelmed and or depressed. About a month and a half before the wedding, she stopped talking to me. After about a week of her not responding, I went over to her house to check in on her. She explained to me what she was going through, and I was right there to listen and try to help to the best of my abilities. She kept speaking to me for a few days and then stopped again. I gave her some space, but I needed her to be at a meeting with my wedding manager to go over some fine details for the wedding. She showed up and started speaking again for a few days. Then she stops again. I give her some more space because I don't want to overwhelm her even more than she already is. 2 weeks go by and my family hosts a bridal shower for me. She swore that she'd be there. 30 minutes after it starts, I don't hear from her. I call her and text her, but there's nothing. After I'd called her a second time, her boyfriend shows up at the door with a gift. He explains that Livy isn't doing too well today and she's been having extremely bad panic attacks all morning. I let it be and give her the day. The next day, we had a meeting set for all the bridesmaids to get together at my home and go over details such as hair, makeup, shoes, times, etc. for the big day. I had texted her all morning trying to see how she was doing and if she would be there tonight. I called her several times through the day with no luck. My fiancé also is a good friend of hers and also checked on her with no luck. Finally, about 30 minutes before the meeting was supposed to start, my fiancé calls her boyfriend and tells him that he is on his way to come get her for the meeting. The boyfriend explains that they are actually at a B-Day party for someone in his family. By the way, the meeting was set up a month prior as to make sure it was set in everyone's schedules. My fiancé at this point was getting extremely angry and I was having a meltdown because another one of my bridesmaids also wasn't responding to me. The other bridesmaid lost her phone and forgot about the meeting. Livy went for another week without speaking to me. Exactly 2 weeks before the wedding, I sent her this text. Hey girl, I understand that you're struggling, but with the wedding 2 weeks away, I really need communication when you need help. I feel like I'm losing you and I don't want that. I love you and I will always be here for you. I need to know that I can count on you too. Crickets for the next few days. Yesterday, I tried to call her several times with no answer, so I went to her home to check in on her. We waited for about 10 minutes outside. We could hear them inside and we called both her and her boyfriend to see if they were okay. Finally, I left. I spoke to my wedding manager, who is also my uncle, to get his opinion on it, as well as my mother. Both of them said that I only get one wedding day. I need to focus on my happiness right now. They both advised me to send her a text saying that if I don't hear from her or her boyfriend by a certain day, I need to move forward. I ended up sending this message to her. Hey, I know that you're struggling right now, and if it helps, we can take the responsibility from the wedding off of you, and you can be a guest. You're my best friend, and I'd love to have you at my wedding, even if it means that you're just a guest. Please let me know by Friday at 7 p.m. if you'd still like to be in the bridal party. If I don't hear from you by then, I will have to move forward, and I will see you as a guest at the wedding. Which I think is kind of the only path forward. It's like, yeah, Maid of Honor is kind of a big role.
Right, and it makes sense that, like, on top of her panic attacks, like, an added factor would be the fact that she, like, has to be there. I'm sure that would worsen them a little bit.
I think so. I think also, like, I mean, I understand that she probably was like, I'm going to push through it. But it's like, if you're in that space, I think it's best to just say, hey, like, as early as possible. Like, hey, I don't think I can do this right now.
Yeah, but I'm kind of scared that she's not even going to respond to that and just not going to show up at the wedding at
which
all.
would suck. I really don't want to lose her as a friend, but I really need someone who I can rely on because the wedding is in 9 days. Am I the a-hole for threatening to kick my maid of honor and her partner out of the wedding party? Is there something I could have done better? And there are some relevant comments and an update. I don't think you're the a-hole. I think that, you know, obviously her communication skills aren't great, but I don't think that she's the a-hole. I think she's going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still think it's pretty unfair to not get that answer, in which case I don't think you're the a-hole for saying, hey, like, we gotta find a new, like, I don't think you're threatening to kick her out of the wedding. I think you're saying, hey, I'm gonna, like, it seems like you can't provide me, you know, the time and energy that I need for the wedding. So I think just come if you are able to.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen a lot of stories where they're definitely just like, if you can't be there for me, then don't even come at all. Or like, then you won't even be the maid of honor.
Yeah.
But she's being very nice about it.
And she's like, hey, like, I understand if you can't be the maid of honor, just let me know or not.
So basically the answer is no. You're not the a-hole.
Agreed. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, I feel like parking outside of her house for 10 minutes trying to get her to talk to you is probably wildly triggering her PTSD. Did you ever ask her what you could do to make the maid of honor role fit? Or did you just keep doing the same things and asked her to talk more? OP says, I have tried to make it clear to her from the start that I do not want to overwhelm her with this responsibility that she's accepted. When I visited her the first time, I asked if she needed any change to her role as maid of honor, such as if she needed a break from wedding planning for a minute, or if she needed any of the other bridesmaids or myself to help her with anything. She told me that she could handle it, and also told me that she would let me know if she needed help. I don't feel like that commenter was very fair. It seems like OP from the start has been like, hey, like, checking in a lot. But I mean, the point of it is to kind of help the bride out. So
It is.
there is that expectation that you're going to help her out. Did Maid of Honor do anything to help with any of her duties? OP says she helped me make a few decorations for the wedding, and I was told that she bought everything for the bachelorette party, but it was supposed to be this weekend. She kept changing the plans for it and hasn't said anything for 2 weeks about it. At this point, I've messaged the other bridesmaids and informed them of what's going on. Is it possible that Maid of Honor's boyfriend could be controlling her? OP says, I'm not sure. They both have extremely complicated backgrounds and bad trauma. His is honestly worse than hers in some ways. I think they may be struggling to put two traumatized people in one home, but I honestly don't think they are too healthy for each other. And OP on being accused of prioritizing her wedding over Maid of Honor's mental health. OP says, at this point, it's not just about my wedding, but also my mental health as well. Currently, I have a million things going on with my health and everything else. It's not good for me to be crazy stressed because it causes physical issues that can be dangerous. I need someone that I can rely on to help relieve some of this stress for myself. I was trying to give her some space so she didn't feel extremely overwhelmed. And there is an update. Also, don't feel like that commenter was very fair. I mean, like, the wedding is kind of about her.
The difficult thing with it is that it's like, it's not that she's just making the wedding like a bigger deal to make it a bigger deal. Like, one, it's a wedding. They usually are a big deal. But also, it's like there's kind of a time limit on it.
Yeah, I just need to know if you're still in this.
Right. So I feel like, yeah, I don't think it's fair at all.
Yeah, I think that if you can't do it, or at any point you're like, I don't know, like not even responding, hopefully you can just say like, I can't be in this. I also understand that maybe she's like in a space where she's like, I can't talk to anyone right now.
But it is
yeah,
a little interesting though, I will say, that like she planned the bridal shower a month ahead and then she didn't go to that because of supposed, I don't know, mental health issues, but she did go to a different party of like the boyfriend's. Yeah, so the girl, she went to the boyfriend's like family member's birthday party or something like that. That's a little interesting to me, which could play in like if the boyfriend is possibly manipulative or something, that could be an outcome of that. So,
but there is an update. Let's see if we get any more information. A month and a half later. Hello, everyone. It's been a month since my and my husband's wedding. Everything is going beautifully and we cannot be happier. Okay. The wedding was beautiful with only a few hiccups along the way. Another one of my bridesmaids was extremely helpful and stepped in as maid of honor. She really didn't have to do much except for be at my side because she's physically unable to do much strenuous activities due to her pregnancy. All of my bridesmaids were beautiful and extremely helpful to me on our big day. As for Livy, I haven't heard from her since I sent the text letting her know that I needed to hear from her. The day after the deadline for us to hear from them, I messaged her boyfriend, Dan, directly letting him know that he was still welcome to attend her wedding as a guest. We had a long conversation going back and forth, and we ended on good terms. The next week, we went to a friend's Halloween party where Dan was present. There, he confided in me that Livy was getting too toxic for him, and he was going to ask her to move out. I don't know if he confided in her best friend.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to have like some sort of friendship already. And I guess he just was like at the party.
A Halloween party.
I don't think it's that suspicious because I could see it being like where she like asks about her and then Dan is like, she moved out.
It's just more just like if I would tell like a partner's friend that I was kicking them out, like I don't know if I would do that. From what I have heard, it didn't end well. He was hoping they could stay together but live separately in hopes of mending the relationship. When she moved out, she had taken his laptop with her. And the last time they spoke, he asked for it back and she pretty much spat in his face. Whoa. Livy has cut off all contact with what used to be mutual friends, which has put strain on them. Dan did end up going to the reception, and it was nice to see him there. My husband and I speak to him every so often to try and keep touch so he doesn't feel alone in this point in his life. For those who are wondering, Dan and I spoke about what I could have done to make Livy act in such a way. He told me that she vented to him a lot and told him about how she was fed up with my husband and I, but because he's also a friend, he chose not to listen to much else she had to say about us. That's so messed up. I hate that. Like, they're just trying to, like, get her involved in the wedding, and she's like, it seems like maybe, like, half of it was mental health, and half of it was she's just being kind of like didn't
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah, because it is hard because it's like you can only make so many excuses for mental health. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like at a certain point, it's like you kind of do have to be responsible for your actions.
Yeah,
you know what I
especially
mean?
if you're going to agree to be a maid of honor multiple times when OP checks in. The reason he wasn't speaking to us was to try and save his relationship with Livy. By the way, you can save your relationship with us by joining us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitch. Just tap our profile.
Just tap it.
Give it a little tap. And there is a little bit more, but yeah, dang. That's rough.
Yeah.
Realizing that Livy is not the friend that you thought she was, especially when she's about to be your maid of honor. And she's talking behind your back.
Right. That's a loss right there.
Yeah.
And such like poor timing.
But there is a little bit left to finish this story off. I have removed Livy as a friend on all social media platforms, but I still have her number saved just in case she ever wants to talk it over. Again, we share trauma experiences, and I never want anyone with those experiences to feel alone when they have their times when they're struggling. Thank you all for your advice from my last post. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. And commenter 1 says, you were extraordinarily gracious under pressure and did everything possible to give her every opportunity to be part of your day, and all she had to do was maintain some basic decorum, but she couldn't do it. You absolutely made the best choice by separating her from her responsibilities and position in the wedding party. So happy to hear you had a wonderful day and hope you have many, many more years of this. Commenter 2 says, I hope he gets his computer back, but seems so yuck to get it now that she must have done something to damage it. Congratulations on your wedding. Remember to call your maid of honor often to ask about her baby and appreciate her more. OP says, always, we talk at least once a week. She's such a sweetheart and she will make a fabulous mother. I am so excited for her and her journeys ahead. And that is the end of that story.
Wow.
Honestly, sometimes people are just truthfully experiencing a mental health crisis. And then sometimes they're just showing you that you cannot rely on them. And it seems like this was kind of heading in that direction.
It also can be complicated sometimes too, where it's like, yes, sometimes people are like going through something mentally, and sometimes like you could do your best to be there for them. But at a certain point, if you need to take some time away while they're
like protecting yourself.
Yeah, then that's okay too.
But that is the end of that story. I refused to supply drinks for my sister's party. She got me arrested.
Ooh, you pulled the opposite of the T-Pain.
Yeah.
She said, I won't buy you no drinks.
This happened some years ago. I'm in my 30s now, but back then I was 22. My sister was 18 and was my mom's golden child. My dad thankfully has a good head on his shoulders and always called my sister out on her crap. But my mom's interference always meant my sister got off easy anyway. This is what happened back then. By the way, this comes from Material Topic 4522, and you can submit your stories if you go to r/Showcase Storytimes subreddit. My parents decided to take a vacation to ski in Aspen and let my sister watch the house for them. They told her no parties, but that was a rule she straight up ignored. A day after our parents left, my sister started sending out invites to a party, and she was promising free illegal drinks. I didn't see that post just yet, but my sister called me and asked me to go get drinks for her party because I was over 21 and could legally buy it. She also wanted me to pay for it and said she'd invite me to the party and introduce me to an easy girl in order to pay me back. I told her that I wasn't going to break the law to make her happy. She should never have told people her party would have illegal drinks. She screamed at me over the phone that I was ruining her life and that she couldn't take back the invites now that they were all over her Facebook.
Ooh, see now, that's where you
Rats.
messed up.
I told her that what she did was really and she and her friends were all underage, so it's illegal. She tried to say it'd only be illegal if I narked on them. I said I wouldn't narc, but I wasn't going to buy her drinks either. She screamed at me some more, so I hung up the phone. Well, that night, my sister had the party, and someone called the police for underage drinking. After being arrested and confronted by police later on, my sister threw me under the bus and said that I'd supplied the drinks she was using. Turns out she broke into Dad's liquor cabinet and thought it'd be better to frame me for her crime. Police came and arrested me at my apartment the day after the party. They seemed already convinced I was guilty and didn't really listen to me when I said I was never there, but I willingly cooperated with them. At the station, I told them the whole story and got them to look at my sister's Facebook post. Thankfully, there were a few people there who listened to me, but I still had to sit the night out in a cell while my parents were called. My mom and dad flew back home overnight and bailed out both my sister and I, but my mom tried to make my dad leave me in jail because my sister had told them her lies lies as well. But my dad took the time to talk to me and look at my sister's Facebook, so he believed me. This caused a fight between him and my mom. When they got home, my dad discovered my sister had broken into his liquor cabinet and spoke to police on my behalf. My mom, however, still wanted the blame to fall on me because, as she put it, the charges would ruin her baby's future. But if she's under 18, it would probably ruin it way less than if OP got charged because he's an adult.
I think it's more of probably an immediate thing. I bet you it would screw up college admissions and stuff like that. But
Probably, but probably
guess
not,
what?
Yeah, that much.
It's gonna ruin the other person's life as well.
Honestly, it would probably ruin his way more if he had a charge like that than if she had just an underage.
It's a very
charge.
not respectable felony to have.
But my innocence was further proven by the fact that I and my car were seen on CCTV when I left work and when I arrived at home soon after, as the apartment I was living in then had CCTV cameras to watch the parking lot. My car did not move from there for the rest of the day and night. In my sister's story to police, I had driven out and gotten the drinks for her, but I wasn't seen on CCTV in any liquor store in the county, and my bank account showed no transactions buying drinks. My parents' house also had a camera at the front door, and my car was never seen in the driveway that day. After being confronted with those facts, my sister's story changed to saying I already had the drinks and gave it to her at my apartment. But my sister's car had never showed up at my apartment either, and there was 3 cheap beers in my apartment fridge and no hard rags. My sister finally had to give up on her lies, and my parents were severely disappointed in her. But my mom still tried to convince me to take the fall for my sister. She came to my apartment and actually demanded that I tell police that it was all my fault. I said I wasn't going to ruin my future for my sister. She refused to leave and went from demanding to begging. She even got on her knees and tried to convince me that she and dad would make everything okay in the long run if I just took the blame now.
But are these people who are
They're
so
super
rich
They're
and
super
connected?
rich.
They're like, don't worry, sweetie, please, we'll pay the judge. Just please. It's
Well,
can't you just do that anyway?
what I'm imagining is 10 Things I Hate About You, the guy who throws the party, that house. That's what I'm thinking. I said I'd rather live my life poor than have that felony on my record. She threw a huge fit and started throwing things because I refused to do as she wanted. I threatened to call police, and she left my apartment cussing me out like a madwoman. I've never heard so many F-bombs out of her before or since. I called my dad right away and told him everything that happened. He was insanely pissed and got into a huge fight with my mom as soon as she got home. She didn't even deny anything she said or did because she deemed it would have been for the greater good of their daughter. But my dad told her that she couldn't destroy me to save my sister. Then he threatened to divorce her if she didn't try to make things right. She ended up sobbing and then saying she'd do whatever he wanted. My dad said that it was couples in family counseling or it was divorce. Wow. My mom signed a prenup before she married him and really had no choice. In the family counseling, I called her out on how she always believed my sister's lies. My sister tried to say they were not lies, but each one I pointed out from over the years said otherwise. I'd taken the time to write a list of all the ones I could remember from the past decade that had all been proven she lied. And my mom and sister were forced to stay silent as I read them all. They tried to interject repeatedly, but my dad and the counselors silenced them. My sister now proved beyond doubt to be a liar and a manipulator, just shut down and refused to say anything more to the counselor. And my mom finally apologized to me, but it was obviously a forced apology because she looked so uncomfortable doing it. I told her that her apology was very fake, and after so many years of favoritism, the damage was already done. My relationship with her never really recovered because she was convinced I was guilty, no matter what was said, until my sister admitted the truth, and then wanted me to pretend to be the guilty one anyway to protect her favorite child. But nothing went her way. So she just went back to crying about it. When my sister went to court, my mom pleaded with the judge to go easy on my sister for the charges of underage drinking. Other underage people drank, as well as attempting to frame me for the crime. Yeah. She also resisted arrest when the police came and shut down the party. She was a very dranky.
She was dranked out.
She was dranked out.
She was dranked up.
When it happened, they kept her in a cell overnight to sober up, and then she told police I'd been the one to provide the drink. My mom's begging, along with the relentless lawyer my parents hired, got the judge to cut a deal, provided my sister pled guilty, which she did not want to do, but her lawyer highly recommended she take said deal to avoid jail time because there was no other way of keeping her from getting a felony on her record.
Wow, she's such an entitled golden child. She's
Yeah.
even like trying to argue with the lawyer, like, no, I don't wanna.
Like, I didn't do it.
It's like, well,
He's like, okay.
you don't know how good of a deal you're getting
Yeah.
here, okay?
My sister's lawyer used the fact that the drink had not been bought that day, but rather had already been in the house long before the party happened to help lessen the charges. My sister's Facebook had also been completely deleted by her as soon as she was able to in order to hide the post. The judge just wanted the case over with, so my sister got off with a huge fine that our mom paid most of out of her pocket and a couple years probation. She was also made to get therapy too by our dad. She's never really showed actual remorse for what she did and only had animosity for me, no matter how in the wrong she was. She was eventually diagnosed as a narcissist after dad made her go see a doctor. After her probation and 4 years of college were over, she decided she was going to leave home for California and never come back once she landed a good job. She currently works in an office in LA, and we've not spoken for years. Dad got her that job, and she's not really shown any appreciation for it. Even my mom has given up on her ever coming home for the holidays and us being a family again. It tore her up inside for a few years, but now she's just bitter. She doesn't really blame me anymore, but we only seem to show indifference to each other. Just because my sister cut her off wouldn't make me the new de facto favorite. It just means my mom lost her baby and isn't getting her back. Shocking that the sister cut everyone off when they all helped her.
Well, I mean, it's the
I mean,
the
she's just
narcissist
yeah.
diagnosis
It's the
makes that
embarrassment.
So-
a lot of
Yeah.
sense.
yeah, she's like, no, it's all about me and the fact that you
Yeah.
didn't get me completely off.
Revenge, justice. Her,
It's the
her-
fact that like,
sense
oh, we're
of
here in the
justice.
first place.
Yeah, I'm getting any consequences. I
Mhm.
don't appreciate it.
Well, I think that she should have been made to pay back the cost of that fine, whatever the fine was.
Yeah, she's her baby.
Yeah.
She's her golden child. And it seems like they're probably pretty rich. She can't leave my dad because she's too reliant on him despite having her own career. She'd never want to be on her own again, so she's just become a shell of her former self. Things between me and my dad are still great. He's pretty much disowned my sister for what she's done and has stopped caring if she'll ever talk to him again. He and my mom don't even sleep in the same bedroom anymore. She moved into the guest room some 5 years ago and has stayed there. Dang, this family collapsed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one bad apple.
Yeah, their marriage is really only one on paper these days. Info, it's a felony or misdemeanor to provide drank to
Drank.
minors, and my sister provided stolen drank to at least a dozen people who were under 21. Then she resisted arrest and tried to frame me by lying to the police. The fact that she got off easy thanks to the shark-toothed lawyer my parents hired for my sister was incredibly lucky. Not that she was ever appreciative. The judge hit her with a fine for each person she gave drank to,
Wow.
which added up. How did he know how many people were at that party?
Maybe he was there.
Yeah, it was like, there was about like 70 people there.
He's like, yeah, hey, that party was way too cool.
That party was off the chain.
Yeah.
And with the cost of the lawyer, well, my parents were out a lot of money. Edit, yes, my parents are wealthy.
No.
You
yes.
don't say.
Yes, my parents are wealthy. And you
In
know
ca-
that means they're rich.
In
'Cause
case
no one just says my
these-
parents are wealthy.
The ski trip to Aspen
Yeah.
didn't tip you off.
Especially my dad, as he's a business owner. He owns several businesses, actually.
We didn't need that one.
One big one and a few smaller ones. He even owns one of the local gas stations. And the town we live in is full of bored police that are just itching to get some action. Also heard that a couple of the minors arrested at the party were the kids of police as well. Yikes.
Ooh.
Which did not help my odds when the cops came for me. I also went out of my way to provide some of the evidence, like the CCTV from my job, my apartment complex, and my bank statements showing I didn't buy the drink. The rest, my dad pushed for. He had a lawyer get the CCTV from every liquor store in the county for that day, though my mom tried to talk him out of doing so. In the end, this took way too much to prove my sister was a liar because she tried to stick to her story hard. Even after my parents discovered she got the drink from my dad's liquor cabinet. And yes, my parents lost a ton of money, basically paying off the court to dismiss most of my sister's charges. My sister had to pay like 10%. That's about it. And that's just the little bit my parents made her pay. They still paid for her college after that as well. So people calling this out as rich people drama are exactly right, because it is just that. At the time this went on, I was still in college myself, but my dad insisted I have a part-time job to learn the value of work. And he was exactly right about that. My family is wealthy, but my dad tried to keep me from acting spoiled growing up. I even bought my own first car with money I earned working part-time. But I can't say the same for my sister, as my mom treated her like a princess. The rest of the family as a whole also hates my sister after what she did back then. So there wasn't much love lost when she ghosted us, save for my mom. She cried about it often for an entire year. And edit 2, yes, this happened in the US, and yes, it was the way police arrested me. My dad had some pretty strong words with them about that, but I guess the cops have nothing better to do. And the arrest was expunged from my record after I was proven innocent. But as someone in the comments pointed out, it's scary how easily your freedom can be taken away. I've instinctively avoided police ever since that happened. For them, arresting the son of a rich guy must have been a big scandal waiting to happen. And you know what else is a big scandal?
Tell me.
You guys not listening to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search up OK Storytime.
Why would you not be listening to us?
It's a scandal. And there is a little bit left to the story, but do you have any final thoughts for OP?
I would say you did good. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys are probably, it's hard realizing you're better off without a family member.
It's hard.
So it sounds like the mom's going to need some more therapy to really compute that.
Oh, yeah.
But
it seems like she's pretty broken down.
Yeah, I think it's got to be hard. Like your kid cutting you off has got to be hard, but it's it's coming from a place of negativity.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know.
But there is a little bit more to this story. And no one was injured as a result of a DUI, but I've spoken with my dad, and he said there were a few DUIs because a few of the minors that got in their cars and tried to drive away. Considering I heard a few of the people there were the kids of police officers, that only made things worse for me. The cops that arrested me both looked middle-aged, so if their kids were involved, that may explain why they treated me like I was guilty. Those who say this is fake, I wish it was, because it's so that it really should be. But my ungrateful sister broke our family, and she nearly destroyed my reputation. These days, everyone in town has forgotten her. She lost most, if not all, of her friends after that party because they were all arrested. It is obviously her fault about everything else, but kind of crazy to be like, I got arrested for underage drinking, and that's your fault. You went to the party. You drank.
My ex demanded that I skip a housewarming party because his fiancé is uncomfortable with me.
Excuse me.
My ex, 27 male, and I, 26 female, split 2 years ago.
I just imagine that's what that guy sounds like.
And you did it so well.
Such an annoying thing to ask.
We met through my best friend who worked in the same theater as him then, and the reason we broke up was because he didn't think we were working anymore. By the way, this comes from new material, 7896 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So it was pretty amicable. I didn't put up a fight or anything, but I strongly believed there was no reason for us to be friends anymore. That always causes problems. But I'm still friendly with his friends, and I make small talk if I run into his parents. We live in a pretty close-knit environment. Don't ask me how. We live in a city, but most of my friends and his come from either the same uni or have a common hobby, or we roam around the same circles, and we definitely see each other once or twice every couple of months. My ex has a fiance now, and I am happy for them. I have never met her until now. I thought this didn't matter or anything. We are all adults, or so I think. One of his closest friends, Peter, just bought a house. I am friends with his girlfriend, and we are both invited to the housewarming. I didn't think anything of it. However, my ex texted me yesterday after a year, albeit very politely, that maybe I could skip the housewarming as he was bringing his fiance, and she will feel uncomfortable. I was pretty weirded out by his wording, so I called him. He said his fiance feels uncomfortable that I would be anywhere close to him, and the fact that they both feel like I sometimes intrude into their social gatherings. It's not just your social gathering. Just to prove I'm better than her friends. I got pretty mad hearing him say these things, and I asked him in what way. We are not friends, and I stopped hanging out with his friends the moment we broke up to not make things difficult. There were a lot of people in his circle I became close to, but I stepped away just so that things weren't awkward for any future partner. And how was it my fault? My ex explained 2 of his friends didn't like or respect his girlfriend and thought her an airhead, and so did his parents. It sounds like She might be an airhead then. Our circles are, I admit, full of literature and theater people. And I admit some of them can be pretentious. Again, I told him that was him being a spineless boyfriend and not my problem. I told my ex strongly that both Peter and his girlfriend are my friends, and I would be going to their housewarming, and his relationship issues are not my problem. And his fiance sent a long text on how she was sorry, but now I was apparently being vindictive. And how did it matter if I didn't go to a housewarming? She asked me to not make any drama and please respect her.
She's the one making the drama.
She's the one making the drama. So guess what OP did? Didn't reply, blocked her. Bam! Blocked, blocked. My friends are pissed at my ex, and I haven't told my friend or Peter any of it yet. I think maybe I could have handled it any other way. Am I the a-hole? And we do have more relevant comments. Peter's girlfriend and I have been friends for a long time, and we were even roommates for 8 months. Technically, I'm a closer friend to Peter than my ex is, even though they are college friends, because of his fiance's antics. And Pete and another one of his closest friends are drifting away from my ex because he insists on bringing her everywhere, and they don't like her. Out of all my ex's friends, it's only Pete I'm close to, mainly because of his girlfriend. Plus, his girlfriend and Pete met through me, so I am a very close part of their friend group, which is why I was pissed at my ex, because I can understand if he was telling me to skip his best friend's party, but telling me to skip one of my closest friends' housewarming for his fiance, who people don't like there, sounded so stupid.
Yeah. It is. It's
I know something too, says not the a-hole. But you should tell Peter and his girlfriend your ex and his fiancés are wieners. It's not your job to manage their emotions or insecurities. If she's uncomfortable, then she should stay home. Fry One Fat Manic says, I agree. Peter should be told before the ex has a chance to spin this and make OP the bad guy. And OP responds, Peter is one of those people who doesn't like her. Our circle is mainly filled with people who mix with a certain type of bookish thinking. Plus, Peter and another of my ex's friends think she is anti-intellectual. Most of my ex's friends are like that, theater people or really pretentious a-holes. Peter doesn't like her more because he thinks my ex was stupid to break up with me and couldn't handle it if I was doing better than him. Their friendship is already on thin ice, and I don't want to be the reason it breaks. Update! Thank you for all the lovely suggestions in my previous post, which is why I'm doing an update. I did go to the party. Honestly, after reading that, yes, my ex had in fact lost his mind. I decided to not bother Peter or his girlfriend, my friend, and just go and mind my business. It's not like my ex and his fiance would come and scream the house down on seeing me, right? Again, I guess I didn't mention in my last post, the reason I was more mad at my ex was because I have a very serious boyfriend. The idea that my ex's fiance would think I'd go anywhere to spite my ex despite having a boyfriend was really insulting. So we went to the housewarming and I ignored them. I didn't care. We are all adults and I am not going to fuel drama. And my ex and his fiance, her especially, made a fool of themselves. And at some point, even I felt bad because I saw how desperate she was for my ex's friends to respect her or take any one of her sentences seriously. Whoever she tried to talk to ignored her or straight up walked away. Yikes.
Well, I mean,
yikes.
It doesn't sound like a fun time.
Again, Peter and my ex's friends are a different group, and I'm not friends with them. But the way my ex let his friends treat his fiance made my blood boil. I mostly hung out with my friends, Peter's girlfriend's friend group, and I didn't speak or look at my ex once.
This is where you just have the blast, like the best time of your life, like your glow up.
Like,
yeah. You just look so good. Looks like you're having fun, and you just don't
you're like
care.
laughing in slow motion. You're doing the whole thing, you know.
You do the hair twirl and everything.
Yeah. One time he said hi, and my boyfriend said hello back, and we didn't see him near us for the rest of the night. His fiance just asked me if my dress wasn't a bit too modest.
Wasn't a bit too modest?
Yeah. You're dressing a little bit too covered up. Peter told her everyone there followed the dress code, casual, elegant. Don't ask me, I didn't make the rules. But she didn't. My boyfriend already loathes my ex, so we did not mingle near them again. Overall, I had a good time. We even got to leave early and have some more time to ourselves, watched a movie, and had a good time at home. However, what pissed me off was how much of a crappy fiance he was and how much his fiance was trying to fit in and failing. And he wouldn't even help her. My boyfriend isn't just a bookish person. He doesn't fit in with some pretentious people either, and he's very blunt, so some people don't like him. Plus, he loves video games and comics, and he has hobbies, trekking, diving, which scare me, but we compromise and learn to adjust to each other's interests. Plus, if someone treats my boyfriend even a little like how they treat my ex's fiance, I would cut them off. No questions asked, and I am already low contact with a few friends who judged and made comments about him in the past. I really hope she leaves him. If she has any dignity or he gets his crap together, all in all, not my problem. By the way, what should be your problem is listening to every episode of this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We literally release twice a day. You can listen while you're cooking. You can listen while you're cleaning. Pristine Armadillo 812 says something about the first story, and the modest dress comment has me thinking the new fiance was an affair partner, and she's always been insecure about OP. She's been competing with you longer than you realize, probably. Hill Michelson says, I agree with you. It seems like that girl was the affair partner of OP's ex-fiance. That would definitely explain the competition, the insecurity, why his friends treat her so badly, and why his parents don't like her. Oh, crap.
I would hope parents don't like someone getting with an affair partner.
It would also
If she's
explain why he
willing to-
doesn't respect or try to protect her. Why would he take someone with no morals seriously? I bet OP's ex-fiance's friends and parents like OP more, and the girls in the group are probably making that girl's life hard out of fear that she'll go after their boyfriends just like she did with OP's ex. OP, keep your distance from them. They don't deserve even a minute of your time. And Surround Miserable 262 says, you handled this perfectly. Part of me felt like she didn't want you there because she didn't want the reality check, because she has now had the opportunity to see how you interact with people, how your boyfriend interacts with you, and how people interact with her boyfriend, and the paradox between your situation and her situation. It's a shame you blocked them, because I imagine if there were messages in backlash to your success versus hers, they would have been glorious to read. But importantly, you don't care. In fact, you have empathy for her. That's great. Shows how beautifully you've grown over 2 years. And Bon42 says, wow, you are genuinely a nice person. After she took a petty dig at you, you are more mad at how your ex's friend treat her than your ex was. I think that says a lot about your character and what a strong and confident person you are. Bravo, OP. And Suitable Park 184 says, not the a-hole for attending, but I think all of your friends sound like pretentious a-holes. A dress code for a housewarming. We have dress codes for our party.
It's called a theme party.
Yeah, like we like say
dress
like,
code is
oh,
like it's just a theme code.
yeah. We would like say wear fun hats.
Theme.
Theme.
You know?
Cool. Dress code. Optional.
But being rude and ignoring someone's partner because they're not smart enough or interesting enough? No way. An OP in response to a downvoted comment that claimed she hadn't gotten over her ex says, wow, because having empathy if a person, no matter how they act, is being treated poorly means that I have not moved on. Caring about how others are being treated doesn't always come with ulterior motives. And my being mad at my ex for being a crap human being towards his fiance has nothing to do with my non-existent feelings for him, but everything to do with being uncomfortable with another woman being insulted in front of you. OP taking the high road.
Wow. Yeah.
Tell him off.
But when they go low, she goes high.
He goes high.
That's right.
And that's where that story ends.
I uninvited my best friend from my husband's party because she's always acting inappropriately around him.
That's pretty good reason, I would say.
That's fair. So my current best friend, let's call her Trina, female 41, and I, 34, have been friends for almost 20 years. In 2008, I met my now husband, male 35, and over time, they became friends too. By the way, this comes from RFSC5U, and if you want to submit your stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Trina is single and hasn't had much luck in relationships. There's always been drama, like cheating or baby mama drama, wanting kids but couldn't find a normal and steady relationship, etc. I've always wanted her to be happy and supported her through it all. Last year, when we went on a trip together for her birthday, just her, my husband and me, I started noticing some things. She would parade around the house in her bathing suit or ask me to hook her bra/bikini in the living room where my husband was. She'd wear really short dresses, and honestly, I started feeling like she'd look at him in a way you would if you had a crush. She'd laugh a little too hard at his jokes, always wanted to go wherever he went, and even at the supermarket, she'd stick with him if we split up. So many more things happened, and I told my husband. He didn't notice at first, but when he started to pay attention to it, he did notice. What really got me was when my husband and I had a fight. I found out he gambled with money out of our shared account. Yikes. And something else I'd rather not talk about. I was really upset and turned to Trina to vent. At first, she acted like she was on my side, saying, "Are you serious? He really did that?" But later, I found out she sent him a text asking if he was okay and basically said she knows how I can be and I overreact sometimes. That felt like a red flag, but I tried to brush it off because I didn't want to believe she'd cross any boundaries. Then on New Year's Eve, Trina usually sends me a thoughtful Happy New Year message, but this time I didn't hear anything from her. So after midnight, I went through my messages and around 1 o'clock, I noticed it, so I decided to send her a long, heartfelt text, wishing her well and hoping all her dreams and wishes would come true. Her response? A flat, "Thanks. Likewise." Meanwhile, she sent my husband a text with a Lotus for Luck image and a long message starting with "My dearest."
Whoa!
Not the Hamilton freaking letter.
Are you?
She's like, "You said my dearest Trina with a comma after dearest." That's the whole thing that's going on right here. That hit a nerve. Now, next Friday is my husband's surprise party. I invited Trina weeks ago before all this happened, but I don't want her there anymore. It's gotten to the point where I feel uncomfortable around her, and I'd rather not deal with it on the day that's supposed to be special. I'm not a confrontational person, so I haven't said anything to her yet. I just want to uninvite her. But part of me is wondering, would I be the a-hole if I did that? And am I overreacting? And there is an update.
No.
No, you're not. That's really, like, in isolation, the bathing suit stuff and the short dresses could be fine. You know, that could be totally normal. But coupled with her, like, puppy dog following your husband around everywhere and also texting just him and saying, "My dearest."
My dearest is unacceptable.
My dearest with a comma after dearest. That, nah. I spoke to my husband about it. He said that he already felt uncomfortable with her and removed her from social media entirely, blocked her number without me asking. Our relationship had an open phone policy, so if I would want to, I could check his phone, but I don't feel like he's doing anything wrong. She's the one reaching out to him. Very healthy mindset. And true. He showed me a text where he tells her he is not comfortable with her behavior towards the both of us, and he did so after receiving the message from her on New Year's and finding out she didn't send me anything. I asked her to meet with me tomorrow as I want to confront her in person so I can actually see how she responds to the accusations. I guess no matter how she responds, it's the end of a 20-year friendship. But there is an update. So I had the conversation yesterday. Since I was pretty nervous about the confrontation, I decided to take my time yesterday. As many of you predicted, she tried to gaslight me into thinking I was the problem. So I'm very grateful for a few of you who gave me some advice and warning this might happen. I really kept it in mind. My husband, let's call him James, and I also started reflecting over the past few years, and more came up that was off, but at the time, we just brushed it off. Things like how she was super involved in my husband's suit fitting for the wedding, together with my brother-in-law, but never had time to come dress shopping with me, or how she organized my bachelorette party and did things she always wanted to do. Anyway, this is how yesterday went. We met in a coffee shop in the city she lives in. We used to live in the same city, but I moved to another city about an hour away to where my husband lives. The reason I decided to go to her is because I can leave whenever I want, or so I thought. So I was there first. She was a bit late and came in all, "Hey girlfriend, I missed you." Shut up. Whole lot of blah. She gave me a bag because she went on a city trip. In there, she had a small gift for my husband and a gift for me. She got him chocolates, and the gift she got me was a pheromonal arousal lip gloss and some sort of lubricant in cherry and pineapple flavor. That's a terrible gift.
That's like you got them like tandem like Valentine's gifts.
I don't like that. She said... and she said, and I quote, "If he's all over you, don't blame me."
Dude, she's like giving you like...
Hate that.
She's giving you a gift, but like she's low key like cosplaying as if she was you.
Yeah.
Like she's fantasizing about being you. This is crazy.
I don't like this. This felt so incredibly awkward and just ugh. She saw the face I made and she asked if I was okay and that the gift was just a joke. So we sat down and I went straight to the point and I told her how she made me feel with her behavior and the way she interacted with James and everything that has been bugging me. And with those gifts, she made it even worse. The first thing she asked me was, "Did you make James block me?" So I told her no, and that she made him feel awkward too. She said that she didn't believe me and that I was just insecure and probably demanded that he block her, and that if I wasn't insecure, I wouldn't be scared to lose him over her. I've never been scared of that since James assured me that I am all he wants, and I believe him. I asked her what her problem was, and that since she was supposedly my best friend, I would have thought she would be more worried about our friendship instead of being worried about what my husband did. I asked her straight to the point if she had a crush on him, and she denied. She did say that she thought he deserved someone who treated him better. I can guarantee that if I was such a bad wife, James would not have stayed with me for almost 17 years. That man is my world. The moment she said that, I told her our friendship is over and I don't want her near me, James, or any of my other family members. Her eyes became wide and her mouth dropped, probably because I never stood up for myself like this. She started to throw shade at me and started to use every weak point I have about myself to make me feel horrible. With all the advice and warnings from Reddit and my husband, I was already prepared for that. I told her I understood why she was still single. Her mouth dropped. Damn. I threw the gifts she gave me back at her and told her she could lure men with those pheromone gloss since I already have mine and don't need it. She tried to jump me and the barman came in between us.
Oh, dang.
Ooh, boy. She started screaming all kinds of things at me and the police were called. I told the bar guy I just wanted to leave, but he told me to wait for the police for my own safety. This girl was like a crazy pit bull and continued trying to get me. I wasn't scared, so I just sat there and waited. Police arrived. I told my story. They asked if I wanted to press charges and I told them no. I just want to go home. They let me go and I started walking towards the train station. I called my husband and he told me to wait at a certain spot and he was picking me up. He was at work when I met up with her, so I went by public transfer. While waiting, I see someone in the corner of my eye. 3 guesses who it was. Of course, Trina.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, OP, you should have pressed charges there to have a actionable paper trail of this woman's clearly like malignant behavior.
I mean, she tried to attack you. I mean, like even a restraining order, we should look into that. Yeah. She started shouting again that I was taking everything away from her and that James is like a brother to her and nothing more. I decided to tell her to leave me alone. She kept going and going and going. This time, station security came and asked if everything was okay. I told them I wanted her to leave me alone, but she wouldn't. They said that they could only ask her, but if she didn't want to leave, she didn't have to since it was a public place and she wasn't threatening me. James arrived like 10 to 15 minutes later. When I saw him, I just burst into tears. This girl still had the freaking nerve to walk up to James to try and give him a hug. That's insane. He just walked straight past her to me and comforted me. When this happened, she started yelling at him that she treated him better than I did. He asked her, "And in your crazy A mind, how did you treat me better than my wife?" She replied with gifts. He laughed out loud, told her to find Jesus, put me in the car, and just drove away. She kept on yelling and rambling, but he ignored her. When we drove off, I decided to tell my husband about the surprise party because at first I didn't believe she would spoil it, but after that I knew she would. He was surprised, but agreed to change the location so she wouldn't be able to show up. She started blowing up my phone. I blocked her. She went over to Instagram and I blocked her there. 2, blocked her everywhere possible. And then she continued with her mother's phone. I just kept on blocking. In the evening, another friend of mine texted me a screenshot of her saying that she shared the invitation with all the details and the caption, "Feel welcome to join." But I invite you guys to join us listening to full episodes with stories just like this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. Just go to OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
I mean, my final thought would be do not let this person not have any consequences for their actions.
Yeah.
Like she's harassing you. She was assaulting you. Like the police need to have a paper trail on this woman.
Agreed. One thing is for sure, this friendship has officially ended and it feels like a relief, which I think only tells I've been walking on eggshells for a long time. Today, I contacted the official location that we are changing location and added the warning that she invited strangers. Next Saturday, we will be celebrating my husband's birthday, and even though the surprise element of the party is gone, there are enough other surprises on their way. When I read back, it sounds like something straight out of a movie. Thank you all for your advice and support. Really appreciate it. And that is the end of that story. I think OP figured it out. Handled it well.
Sounds like it. I mean, didn't go too confrontational on it. So next time she does that, go ahead and get the police officially involved.
Big time. But that is the end of that story, so we're going to jump into the next one. My family excluded my disabled brother from the Christmas party, so I'm boycotting.
Yeah, no, we won't go. The people in here suck.
My 52 female mom passed away in 2020 at 84, and 3 of her siblings, there were 8, all moved to and raised families here in the city we still live in. So I grew up with 6 cousins roughly my age, and most of them are married and have families now too. All of us share the same grandmother, family matriarch, and cultural background. By the way, this comes from Humble Explanation, and if you want to share your stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So for about 40 years, we held an annual Christmas party for the whole family. Wow. Hosting would rotate through my mom and her sisters, and now this responsibility has passed to the next generation, but only the women, interestingly. I don't get asked to host because my place is not big enough, and I'm single. Hosting duties seem to only fall with coupled cousins. Now, the most important bit of context, my brother, male 63, let's call him Henry, is physically disabled with a genetic progressive illness and has to use a power wheelchair. He only started needing the chair about 20 years ago because his disease progressed to that point, and it continues to weaken him. It's a genetic illness that runs on the mom's side of the family, so one uncle had it, he passed away long ago, and so does one cousin, but he doesn't need a wheelchair yet. Henry's chair is very heavy and is absolutely required, and he isn't able to be carried, etc. The chair goes with Henry, end of. He also relies on the local handicapped transportation services, which serves addresses only within the city limits. My home and my dad's home are wheelchair accessible. We haven't had a family Christmas party since before the pandemic, and my mother was here then as well. I was recently contacted by my cousin who's planning a party this year with 2 other female cousins. They are trying to settle on one of 2 of their homes, one of which has a lot of stairs to get into, and the other is outside of the city limits with no public transportation. Neither will work for Henry. I contacted Henry to see if they'd reached out to him, but they had not. One of my aunts called my dad, 85 male, to ask if Henry could go to one of these places, but no one called Henry. Henry is not mentally disabled. He can certainly speak for himself and should be consulted. My dad said as much to my aunt. This doesn't sit well with me, and I don't want to attend a family event when my brother is not included because he needs accommodation. But I don't want to just not show. I feel like I want to be clear with my aunts and cousins that it's not cool to exclude a disabled family member. My mom would have spoken up, but she's gone now. My dad isn't sure what to do, and he's not one to make waves. I feel like I need to add some additional context. I have never been close to my cousins here, and they get together with each other, but Henry and I are rarely included. 2 of my aunts are very well off, and they help their kids a ton. I have always been treated differently by my aunts, I think because I'm single and all of my cousins got married. Note, all but one are divorced now, lol. And I'm also adopted, and that could be why I'm looked at as the black sheep, which is not cool either, if so. That might be it. I mean,
but honestly, black sheep do tend to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool that they made you one, but you're gonna be cool because you were one.
Henry never married, but he has a son, 36 male, and stepson, 41 male, who also lived here. Henry's sons are not usually invited to family things unless my parents hosted or they were asked to help Henry with transportation/assistance. But all my cousins' kids are at everything. I talked to Henry about it today, and he said he can't go unless it's accessible, and said there are other accessible places they could select and they should include him. He seemed annoyed no one had called him. He doesn't like it when I make a stink on his behalf, but let me add, he won't do it himself, and I have solved more than a few problems for him through speaking up and advocating for his needs, though always confirming his needs first. I am fully prepared to call people about this. It will not change anything for me because I don't really have a close relationship with any of those family members. Only 2 cousins bothered to reach out to me after my mom. That's...
Dang, well,
I can
at least you know
imagine.
the
That's-
good cousins.
I used to dread these events because I never felt like I fit in, but I thought it would be nice to go this year because I haven't seen any of them since before my mom passed away. We never had a memorial due to COVID restrictions, sadly. This isn't the first time this has happened, by the way. Henry has been able to attend other family gatherings or has to arrange for special help to be able to attend. Sometimes we can creatively make things work, but he's getting more frail, and some options we have used in the past aren't possible any longer. I think my extended family should be ashamed of themselves for excluding Henry and his sons, frankly, and I can't attend in good conscience if they do. He's my brother. We have always stuck together. There is a chance they will rethink the venue and be inclusive, but I doubt this will happen if no one speaks up about it. So would I be the a-hole if I spoke up about Henry and let my family know it's rotten to exclude a disabled family member, and that's why I won't attend? Genuinely interested in other perspectives and advice. I will try to update with what happens. Thank you sincerely if you made it this far. I appreciate you. An edit for clarity, this is not Christmas Day itself, but a party about a week before. I will be spending actual Christmas Day with my dad and Henry, as I always do. And there is an update. But do you have any thoughts? Because I got a couple thoughts before we jump into the update. I think that your family is definitely like in the wrong for not including you and your and Henry. But I think that you do need to tell them. You need to be like, hey, this is not okay. And we would like to be there, but you're making it hard. And you also need to talk to Henry about just if he's not willing to advocate for himself, then to a certain extent, I think that you can jump in there and be like, hey, like you talk to him. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be like, oh, like this is what he wants, blah, 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 and speaking for him. But it's just saying, hey, you need to talk to him and find out what he needs to be there.
I think before you do anything, you need to have another talk with Henry about if he even wants the conversation to be had.
That's also true.
Because it might be a thing where he's like, I've given up on them.
Yeah.
It's like, I already know that they're not going to invite me because of this.
Yeah.
Because of my disability.
That's also
and
true.
I don't want to be there because of that. So instead of like going out of your way to try to like, be his champion, like first you got to go to Henry and
see
be
what
like,
he wants.
do you even want me to do this?
Yeah.
Would you even be comfortable if I did try to do this? Because this is how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah.
And then you need to get his perspective before you move forward. Because like you said, it's like he's not mentally disabled. Like
no,
you can
exactly.
go to
He
him
can
and
fend for
ask him like,
himself.
I feel upset about this. I want to do something about it. What do you feel? And if he's like, don't do anything, then you shouldn't do anything.
I think that's the way to go. But there is an update. Just a quick update for everyone. I had thought that the party wasn't going to happen at all because I hadn't heard anything since my post, and I had said nothing to anyone at all apart from Dad and Henry. But we just got notifications today that it is happening at a handicapped accessible restaurant, and I just texted Henry. He's going to attend.
Okay.
So it kind of worked out.
There we go.
I think also they had mentioned a little bit to the aunt already. Like they had been like, hey, did you talk to Henry? So I think they had kind of started that process anyway.
They got the ball rolling.
I don't know what might have happened in their planning, but I'm happy with their choice. And despite not feeling really close to these people, I am going to attend because I want to support their decision to be inclusive and to change it up this year. They have declared no gifts, but we are to bring a donation to the food bank. That's nice.
That's nice.
I heartily endorse this. The organizing cousins were the same ones who reached out to me after my mom passed as well. So it seems like they're cool.
Cool cousins.
By the way, you can be cool too if you listen to full episodes with stories like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime.
And if you don't, you're doomed,
You're
to
doomed
be
to be
uncool
loser.
forever.
But
you
there is
will
a
be
little bit left.
uncool for 3 days. Today is the first day you are uncool.
Thank you, everyone who commented and offered their opinions and advice. Perhaps I overreacted initially, but I posted here to help determine what I should do, because I worried I was overreacting. After reading the comments, I decided to keep my mouth shut and see what happened. If indeed they had gone ahead with an inaccessible location, I would have told them civilly, I know you don't know me, but I'm pretty diplomatic, that I wasn't going to go if Henry could not, and that it was a shame they couldn't include him, and let them feel however they felt about that. I'm just glad it worked out. And there are some comments to finish this off. Comment 1 says, don't even give the heads up. When they ask where you are, tell them you're out with Henry. And reply, hell yes, the day of the family get together, take Henry out and do something fun. Make sure you post pictures of everything.
That is true. That's a good way to do it.
And comment 2, create your own events. Don't include them. On the bright side, you won't have to host all the family either. Start your own traditions that are inclusive.
There you go.
And that is the end of that story.
My sister disrespected my boyfriend at a party, but my family wants me to apologize.
You should just be the bigger person. No.
And squash them.
Yeah. Yes.
Squash.
Like a bug.
Oh. Hey guys, this is a long one, so buckle up. There's a couple of people in my family involved, so bear with me. So I, female 31, was invited by my mom to attend my nephew's first birthday celebration for turning 1 year old. Congrats, baby.
Hey.
Keep in mind, my mother invited me, not my sister. By the way, this comes from Soggy Swing 2709. And if you want to send in your own soggy story, go to r/SogyStorytime. Freaking send it in. Now, this was in November. I, of course, am going because I love being an aunt and want to be supportive. At the time, I was 7 months pregnant with my second child. When I was visiting my mom's house, sister, female 39, was also there, and when discussing plans for my nephew's birthday, she tells me that I don't have to come and that my first child, who is 3 years old at the time, can come.
How are they going to get there?
Baby car.
They're 3. Oh, yeah, just like one of the little, they just like waddle.
The Fred Flintstone. Bro, when I was scooting. I could have gone there.
He's just like, sorry, boss, I was late to work because I got stuck behind one of those baby cars.
Dude, maybe I couldn't poop in a toilet, but could I drive a baby car like 10 miles to my auntie? Yes, I could.
100%.
Yes, I could.
100%.
Now, I was shocked, but told her, no, why don't I come to my own nephew's birthday celebration? I thought it was weird for her to say that, but I brushed it off at first, and it went right over my head that my mom, 56, sent me the invite, not my sister, via text in a cute invitation flyer. So just breaking that down so I understand that OP's mom had sent OP the invite, not her sister, but the sister's now saying that she can't come. When I read the details, I saw my sister and her child's father wanted to have it this children's event space, which is 40 minutes into the city away from my house. This meant getting on the expressway, and in that direction, I get anxiety. So maybe is it like you don't have to come if you don't want to, because I don't know if you don't want to go there.
Yeah, I don't. Is this like a tactical? They're like, oh, well, I definitely know she won't go because she doesn't like driving on the highway in that direction. Which, like, you know, to each their own, but quite ridiculous to be like, yeah, just let your 3-year-old go without you. What is that? What is that?
Yeah, that's a little bit insane.
What does that take?
Yeah, this is weird. I'm confused. So my pregnancy wasn't as smooth sailing, and I had some difficulty. So I asked my boyfriend of 8 years, 41, if he could take me, and it would be nice for us to buy a gift as well. At first, he didn't want to go, but of course, seeing as I'm pregnant and he's super supportive of me, I didn't have to convince him to go. For context, my sister dislikes my boyfriend, and he doesn't care much for her either. For years, she would walk past him and ignore him. Rude. She would make him feel bad by acting like a total witch towards me, even at other family gatherings. She would ask me, why is he even here? Or, I thought you were coming alone. And proceeded to ignore him and me the entire time.
What is this? They're just like, why didn't your baby come here alone?
Just bring your baby to the bar.
Like, your baby's so great, but you guys are trash.
Let's give that baby a bottle.
Yeah, just like, what? Like, do they, yeah, dude, I'm stupefied here. I just got hit with the stupefy Harry Potter.
Ooh.
Stupefy.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on, guys? I don't know. Babies can drive cars? Ooh. You have a husband? No, I don't know how to act in a social setting? That's crazy.
That is the wife right now. Oh, that's the sister.
Oh.
Now, she had a nasty attitude. She's known in the family as the one with the bad attitude, tough exterior, the don't mess with her. And no one has held her accountable for all the time she's made people who come around her uncomfortable. And though we are grown now, my mother doesn't do anything to check on her on how she acts, especially towards me and my partner. Like this past summer, she cussed at me and my boyfriend out through a text over a misunderstanding and made it about my boyfriend as if I was in the wrong. She has made me feel horrible for years, ever since I was younger, She wasn't so nice growing up, and it has affected my self-esteem and not knowing how to stand up to her. But as the youngest of 3 girls, I was always deemed the spoiled one, and I've never disrespected either of my sisters.
See how they didn't deny that they were spoiled, though? I've been considered the spoiled one, but I never disrespected my sisters. But I was spoiled. It's the youngest effect. It is what it is.
I mean, the youngest effect is very real. Very, very
But there was no disrespect.
But there was no disrespect.
But I was spoiled.
Allegedly. Allegedly and allegedly. So fast forward to the day of the birthday party place, which was further than I expected from our house. And with no parking available, street parking up north is a nightmare. Come visit LA. I was so glad my boyfriend drove. I came into the party happy and all smiles, ready to have some fun. And if we recall, just a quick foreshadowing, sister said, you don't need to come. Okay? But she's there.
Exactly. Is is the rug? I sense the rug. The hands are on the rug, and the rug is getting ready to be yanked.
I came in with positive vibes just for my sister to act standoffish with me the entire time. I was oblivious as to why. But for context, remember when I said she cussed me out like I was a random person on the street? She also cussed out my boyfriend in the text, calling him out his name. Yeah, so she gave me a weak apology, and I felt it wasn't genuine. I told her she had no reason to do that to me, absolutely no reason, and she chose to hurt me with her words, and that I would appreciate if she left my boyfriend out of things and didn't call him out his name. She tells me she doesn't have a problem with him, and she'll only speak to him if he speaks to her first. Mind you, him and her haven't had any verbal altercation, and through all the disrespect over the years, he's been calm, cool, and collected. But he's slowly distanced himself from my family, especially my sisters, who he tried his best to be cool with, only keep in contact with my mother. But lo and behold, a verbal altercation happened at my nephew's birthday party. Yes, the one turning 1 year old.
Gotta love that.
In case you forgot.
Gotta love getting into vocal spats at the toddler's birthday party.
Dude, that is maturity right there.
Yeah,
That's how
definitely.
you know you've grown
You
up.
know how to read a room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? What's happening?
I guarantee you they won't even remember when they're older.
Dude.
That's right. It'll just get baked into their frontal lobe. They won't even know why they are the way they are.
And then they'll access and be like, that's crazy. I'm a madman. As I was unaware because I was too busy mingling with my mom's friends, who I invited because my sister doesn't even have mom friends. Heck, she doesn't even have friends, period. So the verbal altercation happened because she hit my man with her child's car seat, said, excuse me, but didn't give him enough time to move, in which he only called her a weirdo, and she hit him with, you're a witch.
I'm guessing that you're actually the witch.
That's what it sounded like. This is you're trying to do some sorcery to turn it around,
Yeah.
but it is on you.
You're trying to cast, I am rubber and you are glue, but in fact, it's you stink.
Wingardium Leviosa. Which, how I didn't hear that happening, I don't know. But my boyfriend didn't say a word to me about it. Neither did my mom's coworkers, who were there as well with their grandchildren. Not until we're getting ready to go. I had already said my goodbyes to everyone else and was going to say goodbye to my sister. I almost forgot to tell her about the gift we brought because she was barely speaking to me. So I came over to say goodbye and give her a hug. She had this angry look on her face and was stiff when I reached for a hug. I finally asked her what was wrong, and she immediately loudly shouted at me, "Your witch booty baby daddy!
Hey, maybe don't say that.
He can't handle these car seats I'm chucking at him.
Maybe don't be saying that.
Hey, your man can't handle a car seat. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. He's not built for it."
Man's not built for the car seat. Man's not built for it.
Dude, he called me a weirdo. The quote wasn't even over.
He called me a weirdo. Well, you're acting like a real weirdo, dude.
That is so true. That is, wow. I was completely taken aback. And at the same time in my mind, I was like, what? That's it? That's what got you so mad? I almost thought it was a bad joke being played on me. I was a little angry with him at first because I couldn't believe that this happened. She proceeds to go off on me, shouting like, he's a witch. He's lucky I don't fight him. I said, whoa. She's pulling up with you've heard of fisticuffs, but have you heard of baby seat cuffs?
Yeah, it's like a WWE, but instead of the folding chair, it's just like, oh, watch out! They got the toddlers ages 1 to 2 car seat. Whoa. There's plastic everywhere.
just like little like giant boxing gloves, just like strapped to their arms, or they're a whole like cyborg made out of them, you know,
Like the Hulk hands, but they're just
yeah,
they're
or
just
they're like a
giant
robot.
car seats.
A robot made of baby car seats, you know. Dakota, I think you've transferred your tangents into me. I think we just our spirits switched places today.
I think so.
Wow.
Because that was a real good one.
Thank you.
I was
dude.
like, I can't get over that. Just like like strapping it on like it's like the Captain America's shield. Stop.
Hey, he inspired me, man. That was a Dakota inspired quip right there.
I'm just listening to your words.
Hashtag free Jakota.
He is listening to our words tightly.
Real tight. I said, whoa, but I couldn't get a word out. She tells me I'm only going to take his side anyways, and how she was unaware that he was going to be there. I felt embarrassed and walked away from her because she was so angry. After that, we left, but not before my boyfriend apologized to my mom and other sister, who was just standing there the whole time, not saying anything, but looking at me as if I deserved it. If he ever offered them in any way, he told them if they have an issue and it's about him, just come to him about it and they can talk it out instead of taking their frustration out on me. My sister just tells him that he should have just dropped me off and waited outside. Dude, that sister is bugging out.
Why? Like it's so weird. What a weird move. You are weird. That's weird.
Stop. Yeah, you are a weirdo. That needed to be said.
You do not want peace.
Bro.
You want problems always.
A buffet.
And that's really weird at a 1-year-old's birthday party.
At your 1-year-old's birthday party.
You're somehow making this about your beef with someone you should really not be striving to have beef with.
But they can't handle baby seats.
Apparently not.
So you got to throw them at them.
Apparently not.
That's how that works?
Yeah.
Dakota. Oh, so I couldn't believe it. Neither can we. So we go home. Days go past, and I don't hear from my family. I finally call my mother to let her know that the situation really stressed me out, and I'm already going through some complications with my pregnancy. So for my sake and my unborn child's safety, I won't be coming to visit for a while until after my child is born. And my oldest sister is always there, and I don't feel like facing her at the moment. But before I could get anything out, my mother cuts me off and tells me I'm wrong for inviting my boyfriend without asking my sister.
That's actually, when it's put like that, that's tricky, but also like
They do have problems, and he wasn't invited.
So wait, okay, hold on. Yeah, I mean, if you're not invited, you're not invited.
I wonder if we also have an unreliable narrator here. I think the sister's crazy for sure. But
I mean, but like maybe we've been off the whole time and the boyfriend sucks.
what if everyone sucks?
I don't know. There's got to be a reason, right? There's got to be a reason beyond what we've read here why like he is so not liked, and that the mom is immediately like, yeah, you shouldn't have, like, is backing up now. Mom's now backing up the sister because it is weird. It's like, I don't know. It's like, why do you? Now I'm starting to think a little differently. I think you knocked my brain a little loose in the sumo ring.
Dude, well,
Something's going on here. I don't know. Info. Boyfriend? Bad? Good? Question mark.
let us know. We're going to figure out. So before I could get anything out, mother cuts me off and tells me I'm wrong for inviting my boyfriend without asking my sister. Once again, I was taken aback, and my mother asked me if I thought I was wrong too. I told her no, I didn't think I was, and my mother gets mad at me and says if it was her and she didn't like my boyfriend, she would be pissed off too. I told her I didn't call to go back and forth with her. She frustrated me to the point of me forgetting what I wanted to tell her in the first place. So I quickly told her that I won't be coming around for a while, and I'll let her know when the baby is born. Oh.
And another layer of this complex lasagna has revealed itself. And if it has already been revealed, I'm sorry for my brain not being.
I'm also
caught
lost. I think it might be the simple answer, which is just everyone sucks here.
Yeah, it's like maybe don't like
We don't know why this is like one of those the TikTok videos of like white people lasagna where it's just like 3 giant slabs of cream cheese and noodles put around, and they just have these weird steps and you don't know what's going on.
Italians
And they're like, an Italian told me how to make this.
That's not Italians. I'm sorry for what you just had to hear.
It's cream cheese.
right.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It's creamy and it's cheesy.
Cream cheese is the step nephew of ricotta.
I don't
You-
know why I just said that.
You
I don't. This
said it, not
story's
me.
confusing me.
Yes.
I'm confused.
We're as confused as the cream cheese ricotta casserole, okay? We are absolutely, our gabbers are flasted.
But it's like you got to know that you're starting stuff if you don't invite the baby daddy. But also, like, is the baby daddy trash? I know people who can get in who have been in relationships with trash people.
That's right.
And they're like, I don't know, are they trash? And it's like, dude, yes. How do you not see it? So it's like there could be more of that.
Yeah.
And they're always real reluctant to say that they're trash. So I am sensing that the boyfriend sucks.
Interesting.
That's my spidey sense.
Honestly, I think it's the sister. I think she's the main culprit here.
Oh no, mom backed her up.
I told her I'd let her know when the baby is born that I love her and goodbye, and I hung up the phone. Afterwards, she sends me long text messages saying that I'm ungrateful and how I never appreciated what she's done for me and for my son. All false, Opie says. Things escalated when my boyfriend texted my mom and told her respectfully to stop ganging up on me, and it's stressing me out.
Uh-oh, I think I was wrong. Uh-oh, I might be wrong.
So my mom does not take this well and curses him out and says a load of unnecessary things to him and disrespects his family and says, see who will be there for us, and that he is cut off. We had no contact with him. Thanksgiving went past. Then my birthday in December, and none of my family reached out to wish me a happy birthday, all because my mom assumed I wanted to cut them off. Remember, she never let me finish what I wanted to say.
In reference to the phone call that was
Of
made,
like,
where she's
hey,
like,
I'll-
and then eventually I couldn't even remember what I wanted to tell her.
I'll see you when the baby's born, which at face value, we're like, okay, you're cutting her off and letting her on to see the baby, but I'm guessing we're imminently going to get the context we so desperately need.
Everyone in this story needs to go to the moon.
Yeah, dude. To go over there, man.
Go
You
on the moon.
You got to do a couple of revolutions and
Yeah.
then run it back.
The Sea of Tranquility.
We need to figure it out. But in a text, I told her I wanted space from my sisters, not cutting off contact, but she did what she wanted to do. Cut to now, I sent my mom and sisters a letter before Christmas stating I miss them and how if bringing my boyfriend to the party seemed disrespectful, and I set boundaries with them about being rude to him. I told them I'm here when they are ready to talk. So far, I feel like it was like, guys, you're going to get it. You're going to see it. And it's like, you still told your mother, hey, I'll reach out to you after the baby's born.
Yeah, it's
Right?
what are the boundaries?
And she's like, I didn't cut her off. And I'm like, I mean, you literally said I won't talk to you till the baby's born.
Yeah.
I mean, is that next week? Or is that like...
It does seem
Oh, she's
like...
7 months pregnant.
So,
2 months.
But yeah, it does seem like a whatever, shut up, don't talk to me.
Yeah. OP.
But like, also, I'm way more on OP's side now than I was 5 minutes ago because it does sound like the mom and the sister suck.
Mom and sister suck, and the apple did not fall far from the tree.
Unless OP sucks.
I think OP might also suck.
Moon. Rocket to the moon. Trebuchet to the moon, and everyone gets to look at the blue marble and go, can't we all just get along? That's what the moon is for.
That's what you guys need to think about right
The
now.
moon's like, can't we all just get along?
Long and hard, ladies and gentlemen. Well, only my mother reached out after that letter, and she didn't say she was sorry. She didn't even want to get into the details of what happened, but she tells me I should apologize to my sister, and she doesn't want to get involved in me and my sister's drama. How ironic. I told her, no, I don't think it was wrong, but I do see how she feels, but it wasn't my intent to anger her. I told her how they didn't consider me being pregnant and the distance I didn't want to travel alone, and just how my mom blindly took my sister's side without letting me speak in November. Maybe we're getting more context. She gave me the excuse I said earlier about her assuming that I wanted no contact, even though I have messages telling her the opposite. And if you are as confused as we are right now, in not just the story, but in life, you need a guide. You need 6 people who can tell you what is right from wrong, what is good, and what is goofy. Ladies and gentlemen, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to your podcast, and type OK Storytime. We have 104 days of content.
All it takes.
That's
and
all it takes.
What's that? We just added another episode. crazy.
That's another hour plus of content.
And
for
we
your
are
freaking
also
dome piece.
we are. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step over you right there.
Step it, brother.
We're confused. We are so confused. And if anyone didn't catch that, you saved it because at the end, OP put a double negative into that sentence that did not need to be there. That would have confused us even more.
I had to correct it. Everyone needs just a break from each other. It's going to the moon vibes. Go to the moon, think about it, run around, and come back.
Yeah.
But are they all going to mutually agree? Hey, we need a break and let's take some time and then come back together?
I really feel like the mom and the sister are the kind of people who'd be like, oh, so you need space? You just hate us. You just hate all of us, don't you? You're just the worst.
You want some space? Yeah, you want some space? Well, guess what? Here's enough space for a baby seat. Here's a baby seat. Yeah.
Oh.
You have baby seat space.
Oh.
Hey, here's two.
Oh.
Here's freaking two baby seats. I'm pummeling you with a WWE SmackDown.
It's the baby car seat from the top rope.
That's right. Well, there's a little bit of the story. Maybe all of our answers will finally be answered in these next 3 sentences. Let's buckle our seatbelts and see it. It's baby seatbelts, that is. So it's only me and my mother that are speaking now, and she's acting like nothing happened and wants to come around me and the kids, but she still hasn't spoken to my boyfriend at all. Me and him aren't comfortable with my mom keeping our son anymore, and she mentioned a few times how she wants to soon. I haven't told her yet that I don't want to. I'm still hurt by all of this. Am I the a-hole for not apologizing to my sister? My mom keeps trying to pressure me to apologize after I sent a letter initially.
And nothing was clear, and everything was the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let us know what you think about that. People are asking for a TLDR. I couldn't even give you one. TLDR?
Everyone
what?
Sucks. Everyone sucks.
TLDR, unclear.
It's completely unclear.
There was a toddler's birthday party.
Yeah.
And it escalated from there.
Yes.
And now we're on the moon.
That's
and
right there.
That is going to have to do.
Boom.
Because that's the end of that story.
My best friend demanded I leave my own birthday party to drive him home.
Is that really your best friend?
February 9th, 2025. Hello, everyone. This is my first post, so please bear with me. I, 26 female, have been best friends with Jake, 27 male, for over 6 years.
Real suspicious, Jake.
Real sus. We work at the same company and are also planning to go on a work and travel trip soon. By the way, this comes from Lost in Thoughts 07, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, this situation happened last Friday, which was my birthday. I had planned a big family gathering with over 20 guests, some of whom traveled over an hour to be there. Jake was invited, and he told me he would come. The night before, we went grocery shopping together, but while sitting in the car, he suddenly told me last minute that he wouldn't be attending because he picked up an extra shift at work. I was a little hurt because we always celebrate our birthdays together, and he didn't need to take the shift. Our company has plenty of people who could have covered it, but I accepted it and moved on. On my birthday, we were texting before his shift. For context, Jake doesn't have a driver's license and usually relies on public transport or walks. I do have a license, but I don't own a car. I use my mother's when I need it. That afternoon, he mentioned that he would have to walk home because public transport stops running at a certain time, something he already knew when he took the shift. He also told me he was feeling a bit sick and asked if I could pick him up and drive him home. Our boss even told him he could leave 2 hours early to catch the last bus if he needed to, but he chose not to. I told him I couldn't leave my own birthday party just to pick him up and drive him home. I had guests over, food and drinks to serve, and I felt it would be rude to leave people when they had put in time and effort to celebrate with me. He replied, "Can't you just leave for 5 minutes and drive me home?"
Okay, that's actually insane.
I explained that it wasn't just a 5-minute trip. I would be gone for at least 30 minutes in total. He replied with a dismissive, "Okay." Later, I checked Find My to make sure he got home safely and texted him, apologizing that I couldn't drive him, reminding him that I normally do, but I really couldn't leave my own party. That's when he got angry and told me my behavior was unacceptable and that I was just making excuses. For further context, I do drive him home fairly often, even when I'm not working the same shift as him. But this time, I had a prior commitment, one that he was originally supposed to attend. I reminded him again that our boss had told him he could leave early to catch the bus. At this point, he started arguing that the town is dangerous at night. But we've both lived here our entire lives and nothing has ever happened to us. I used to walk at night all the time before I had a license, and another friend of ours, who is also a coworker, regularly walks home late at night without issue. I tried to understand if something else was going on and asked him if maybe he was upset about something deeper and just projecting it onto this situation. I might have worded it poorly, but instead of talking, he just exploded at me.
So that's a yes. That's
Yeah.
a definite. There is
something else is going on here. I apologized if I said it in the wrong way, but at that point, he wasn't listening to me at all. I don't think there was any right way to say it, honestly. I think he's just going to get mad at you, whatever you do.
It's already absurd to be
Yeah.
like, leave your birthday party to give me a ride home.
Meanwhile, he wasn't trying to understand my side either. I told him it was my responsibility to be at my own birthday party, and that my guests had made an effort to celebrate with me. I couldn't just disappear for half an hour. He dismissed that and told me I was a bad friend, a bad sister, because I said I wouldn't drive my sister home either if I had prior commitments and it wasn't an emergency, and that my priorities were all wrong. In the end, he told me he didn't want to see me for a while. I am honestly confused and questioning our friendship after this because of how he reacted. I really tried to understand his side, and I get that he was hurt that I wasn't there for him when he needed me, but at the same time, I couldn't just leave my own party if it wasn't an emergency. Now, I don't know if our friendship can bounce back from this or how I'm supposed to rely on him moving forward. If this is how he reacts to something like this, what happens if we end up in a similar situation while traveling? Definitely don't travel with this man. Is he just going to leave me behind if I don't do what he wants? For context, him feeling sick was related to a sore throat, so nothing that would be classified as an emergency. So am I the a-hole for refusing to leave my own birthday party to drive him home? And there is an update. But what do you think?
Clearly, you're the one in the wrong for not leaving your
Yeah.
birthday party
Yeah,
to
you
drive.
Your
a-hole.
priorities are wrong.
Yeah.
Your priorities are totally out of line.
There's such a selfish individual. Yeah, he had a sore throat, you monster.
Come on.
He could have left early, but he didn't because he's a hustler. He's a grinder.
He's a grinder.
No, you're not the a-hole.
No. And I think that I feel like my vibe of this right now is that Jake is trying to test the bounds of their friendship in a way.
Mm.
Like, try and see if OP will drop everything for him. And when OP won't, he's like, well, there you have it. You're not a good enough friend. February 10th, 2025, about 5 hours later. I know this is an early update because my post is just a few hours old, but I thought I will compress more information and some things that happened in the last few hours into an update. First of all, thank you all. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. To clarify some things I've speculated on since in the comments. There are no romantic feelings involved. He's a men lover, so there was never any romantic interest between us. After reading a lot of comments and reflecting on everything, I've decided to go no contact, aside from necessary work-related interactions. I've also made the decision to go forward with my work and travel plans alone because I simply can't trust someone like this to be my emergency contact in another country. I had a long conversation with my parents and showed them the chat. My mom actually broke down crying. She told me she's seen narcissistic behavior and red flags in him for years, but things have gotten worse in the last few months. She said this has been weighing on her, and when she laid everything out for me, I finally saw the bigger picture. Even though it wasn't a romantic relationship, I now realize he was isolating me from other friends and family, always trying to make himself the center of my social life. He even tried to insert himself into most of my other friendships, and looking back, anytime I made progress in life, he would find a way to hold me back or drag me down. My dad told me that some of the recent arguments I had with my family were actually their way of trying to get me to see what was happening, but I just didn't realize it until now. He also said he's relieved I won't be traveling overseas with him. Yeah. My parents reassured me that while this will be hard at first, I'll heal, and cutting ties now will make things easier in the long run. They also pointed out things I had overlooked, like how he tagged along on family holidays without paying, but was never particularly grateful to my family for inviting him. I've started talking to one of our mutual friends about what happened. She's currently busy with the Super Bowl, But once she's back, I'll tell her everything as objectively as possible. I don't want to trash talk him or damage his reputation, but if coworkers ask, I'll be honest about why I've distanced myself. I genuinely do wish him the best, and I hope he works through his issues and finds happiness. But I'm done. My mom breaking down in tears was the final straw for me. Even though a lot of my social circles overlap with him, I know I'll eventually sort everything out and move on. It honestly feels like a friendship divorce, but I think this is a necessary step. I need to reevaluate who my real friends are and how they treat me, and I might need to cut ties with a few other people along the way. But you should never cut ties with us because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up Okay Story Time. And there you go. But there is a little bit left to this story. But do you have any final thoughts?
There had to have been like plenty of warning signs.
Well, it seems like the family saw them.
Yeah. So sometimes, it's best to listen to some people
On the outside.
when they're seeing warning signs. Don't listen to them blindly.
Yeah. Take a look. Be observant. But don't just be like, oh, they hate me. I'm not going to listen to them. I actually texted one of my close friends joking that we're getting a divorce and that I'm filing for custody of her. I really hope she won't be manipulated by him, but right now I need to be prepared for anything. This won't be easy, but I'll cut my losses and move forward, hopefully towards a better future with better friends, ones I can truly trust, and who put just as much effort into our friendship as I do. And that is the end of that story.
It's a good way to end it. I think that's
Get
a good
better friends.
mentality to have.
Mm-hmm. Take custody of that one friend.
Yes.
And you can
legal
be honest
custody.
With her. I think that like when you stop being friends with someone who like another close friends is still friends with, it's tough to balance because you don't want to like I always try to not crap talk them to that friend because I don't want to sway their opinion. But you don't really say anything good either. You just kind of wait until they realize it on your own, and then they start saying, they're like, actually, that was not cool today, and you're like, yeah, that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And they're like, this weekend they like really let me down. I'm like, they did let you down, and then slowly
Been there,
they figure it
done
out.
that with that guy.
Mhm. And then once they're like, wow, I really don't like them, you're like, yes, I've hated them the whole time. It's very satisfying.
You've seen the light.
My fiance's best friend confessed her love for him. I'm disinviting her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I, 23 female, and my fiance Elijah, 28 male, are due to get married at the end of next month at our destination wedding. Ooh. Last night was my bachelorette party, and I invited my closest family and friends to come along with a few of my fiance's family and his friend Cammie, 27 female. By the way, this comes from The Royal Glow. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. For some backstory, I and my fiance met when I was 19 years old. Both of our fathers are business partners and have been friends since I was in high school. One night, his family invited mine over for a party being held at their home, and that was the first time we met. I was attracted to him, but I knew he was older, so I didn't believe I had a chance. As the night progressed, he was hanging outside in his backyard alone, smoking, and my sister dared me to go talk to him. So I did, and a year later, we began our relationship. My fiance and Cammie have been friends since they were kids, and their families are very close. She's always been extremely nice towards me and wanted to be best friends from the first time we met. I found it a bit odd only because she barely knew me, but I didn't think much of it because she had been dating my fiance's best friend, Antonio, 28 male. We didn't become best friends because I already have a close friend group and I don't trust easily, but she's always been cool and never crossed any boundaries. Last summer, my fiance proposed to me on a trip to Belize. When the announcement was made, everyone sent their congratulatory praises to us, but Cammie. She sent a text the next day to my fiance only, not our friend group chat, saying she was happy for him. She was a bit standoffish to me since then, but again, I never paid attention really because I have my own friends and life. About 6 months ago, Antonio and Cammie broke up. but never really stated the reason why, just that they wanted to go back to being friends and be happy with other people. Fast forward to last night, my bachelorette was in a suite at a popular hotel here in Miami where I live, planned by my older sister and Eli's sister, Ava, 26 female. The night was amazing and I truly had the time of my life. We were all getting wasted and I decided to go to the bathroom. And when I got closer, I heard voices and whimpering like someone was crying. It was then I heard Cammy tell Ava that this should be her and that she doesn't understand why he would want to be with someone like me when it was always supposed to be them two together, that she always loved him. I sobered the heck up instantly. I might have to do a part 2, but guys, tell me, would I be the a-hole for disinviting her from my wedding when it's a month away? Relevant comment says, commenter 1 says, take a breath and think for a moment. Don't unilaterally decide not to invite her or you'll drive a wedge between you and your fiance. Talk to his sister first, confirm what you heard, see how she plays it off. Talk to your fiance, tell him what you overheard, and ask him to ask his sister to have confirmation. Then go from there. As a whole, not the a-hole. Commenter 2 says, not the a-hole, but you have to talk to your fiance. Tell him exactly what you heard. Make sure to emphasize that you didn't have any problem whatsoever with her or their friendship, but that now that you know that her feelings are not the same as a friend, then you need him to have boundaries with her, and you don't feel comfortable with her being at the wedding when all this time she didn't want to be a supportive friend, but instead the bride. Commenter 3 says, this is certainly an awkward and difficult situation. I think you should speak to your fiance about it and go from there. If she can't be an actual friend and supportive of you both, then she should remove herself from the situation if she's not over him or having issues of jealousy. Definitely not someone you want being a distraction at your wedding. Commenter 4 says, you need to talk to your fiance. Their friendship needs to end. Once it's out there like that, there is no coming back from this. The two of you need to be on the same page or hold off the wedding. Do not marry him if he won't end his friendship with someone who confessed to his sister that she's in love with him. Also, again, crazy that she confessed to his sister.
Right. Do you think the sister knew?
I
Sister
don't
might have
know.
known.
They might be like besties. I think if someone confessed that they were in love with my brother,
Yeah.
I'd like go to my brother.
Immediately.
Immediately. I'd be like, hey, dude. There have been multiple people that like Sam knows
Yeah.
who have told me things about him or like said things about him or something. And I'm like, why are you like talking to me about my brother? I'm
worst person to
obviously
get.
gonna tell him. She told her because she wants her to tell him and for him to choose her. That's not okay. He needs to be the one to uninvite her, not the a-hole. And there is an update 2 days later. Wow, thank you to everyone who has given me advice and reached out to me in my messages. You guys are amazing. Before I get into this update, at the Reddit hero, count your freaking days. I was minding my business, scrolling down TikTok, and saw my story, lol. For some clarification, I referred to Cammy as my fiance's best friend because I didn't know what else to call her. Maybe childhood friend, I don't know, but they have never went out of their way to call each other that. But that's how I see them. Now for the update. After I heard what was said, the old me started to revert back, and I almost caused a scene, but I knew with my siblings, cousins, and friends all being there, it would get out of control, and I still wanted to enjoy my night, but I did continue to listen. Some of you were wondering what Ava had to say about all of this. After Ava was able to calm Cammy down, she explained to her that this was not the time and place, and that Elijah would never forgive her if she ruined my bachelorette party. She also told her that she thinks that she should leave and get herself together. I was about to walk in now. At the same time they were walking out, I acted as if I didn't hear anything and asked if everything was okay. Cammy just wiped her face, looked down, stating that she wasn't feeling well and that she might have to cut the night short. I honestly didn't fight her on it and even walked her butt to the door because the F? After she left, I pulled Ava to the side, telling her that I heard everything. She apologized that I heard it and said that she would reach out to Eli to handle it. Some of you also wanted to know why Cammy said it should have been her. Did her and my ex have something going on before? I knew they hadn't, but needed to be sure. So I asked if they had ever been together or dated. In response, Ava said, not that she was aware of, only that their moms would always joke around when they were teens, saying they could finally be related once Eli and Cammy got married. She said that never happened because Eli was never into her. Cammy is a gorgeous girl, but my fiance does have a certain type, and it's not her, respectfully. I wanted to ask more questions, but I thought I'd wait until I spoke with my fiance for further answers. After that, I continued the party and even spoke with Eli quickly before bed. I posted on Reddit the next day after I got home before I did anything drastic. My fiancé came home later that evening, and once he settled in and relaxed, I told him everything that happened. To say that he was irate is taking it lightly. He was absolutely furious. I asked if there was anything between them that I was never told about. I asked if they had ever been intimate and if she had ever confused her love for him before. He made it clear that there had never been anything but a friend's relationship in his eyes. He said that they had never had spicy sleep before, but did kiss once back in high school playing spin the bottle games. But it was in a group and everyone kissed multiple people, including Antonio. He said that she has never confessed her love for him and is confused because he's the only one that played a role in Antonio and her dating. He wanted to call her right then and there, but I told him to calm down first because being upset would only make things worse. I want to say that my fiance isn't mad that I heard it or is trying to hide anything. He's upset because he feels hurt and betrayed that she would do this to him. And at my party, when we were all there to support me, my fiance can get really protective of me at times. He doesn't like to hear anything negative. I did express to him that I feel uncomfortable with her going to our wedding now. I want people at our wedding who are genuinely happy and supportive of us. Tonight, he texted her saying that he needs to speak with her. She replied saying she'll let him know when she's home. So we'll see how tonight's conversation goes. He also invited Antonio over for dinner. Ooh, that's going to be an awkward conversation. Like, oh yeah, your ex-girlfriend left you for me. And we'll speak to him about what's going on because things feel off. A lot of you were also questioning hers and Antonio's relationship and if she used him to make Eli jealous. So we will all be present when the conversation does happen to see what she has to say for herself. Since Thanksgiving is in a few days, I will update you guys on how the conversation goes and if anything new comes to light. Just give me some time to get through this holiday. Also, I have a wedding dress fitting tomorrow and I'm so excited. I might make a collage and show you guys my reference photos. XOXO. And there are some comments. This commenter one says, whatever happens, don't let it happen. And just be careful that this friend situation hurts the most beautiful moment of your life. You and your fiance came from a long journey to get to this point. So enjoy and don't let her steal this from you. OP says, exactly. This is a happy moment for me and him. I will definitely enjoy. And there is an update. So now we're, a little bit like we got 15 days left before this wedding.
Oh my God, yeah.
Not a lot
So
of time. Yeah, hopefully OP acted quickly.
I wonder if she was like showing up to this dinner with OP's fiance being like, oh my God, he's like totally gonna confess his love for me tonight.
Oh, wait, the friend?
Yeah, because I don't think he was like, we need to like talk tonight. He was just like,
Oh,
hey, can
we
you
need
come
to talk.
over?
That's a good
He
point.
would show
She's
up
not even
like,
thinking
"Oh."
it, which is crazy because she literally told his sister.
Right, but
Which
she
maybe
doesn't
she
know
wanted-
that OP overheard.
Yeah, but also I'm thinking maybe she wanted the sister to tell him.
Well, didn't she say like, you have to tell your brother for me so that he can like, or was she just like,
Oh, I thought that was OP. I thought she
Yeah.
was saying, I'll tell him. I thought the sister was saying to OP that she was like, oh, yeah, I'll tell him.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe she wants Ava to tell.
yeah.
The
So she could
brother.
think that just the sister told.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, now he's,
Oh my
he's
God.
coming to tell me that he's in love with me.
I'm actually getting married in 15 days.
Ooh, yeah, she's like, I'm going to take their wedding.
I'll just jump in there.
Yeah, it's kind of a Mamma Mia situation, except instead of an entirely different couple, it's just
Yeah.
replacement person. Update 2. 13 days later. I'm pasting the edit from my previous update. My younger brother, 16 male, was in a car accident Thanksgiving night where he was injured. Thankfully, he's okay with just a sprained wrist and a concussion. The other driver passed away as he was speeding. This has been a lot to digest, but things seem to be calming down now. I will have an update for you guys by the morning. Bear with me, there's a lot to update you guys on, so it will be a brand new post. It's actually Monday evening now, but let's get into this long update. So that night, we ended up inviting Antonio over and basically told him everything that happened up to that point. He actually wasn't shocked at all by the news and stated that one of the main reasons why they broke up was because he felt like Cammy pulled away after hearing about the engagement. He never said anything because he didn't want to cause any issues between my fiance and me. My husband said she did become distant as well, but of course we have our own lives we've been planning for, so it honestly wasn't high on his priority list that would have made him address it then. Well, of course, now we know why, so he wanted to address it to her now. About 30 minutes later, Cammie texted Eli that she was home and would call once she was settled in. When she did call, before she could even say hello, my fiancé started. He asked her why she thought it was okay to go to my bachelorette party and say that she loves him and that he should be with her instead of me. He asked her why she would ever think it's okay to also bring it up to his sister and get her involved. She was taken aback and asked what he was talking about, which pissed him off. He told her that I heard what she told Ava in the bathroom and that she was out of line to even suggest that they had ever been anything more than a family friendship. She said she couldn't help how she feels and that being at a bachelorette party made it real for her. And she just needed to get it off her chest and thought she could trust Ava. He asked her why. If all this time she had feelings for him, would she be with Antonio when he set them up? Cammie said she thought that things wouldn't get serious between them and thought eventually that he would come around. Said that she would give hints, but he would never reciprocate, which should have been a hint to her. He told her that although they've had a long friendship, this was something that he couldn't look past and that she is no longer invited to the wedding. He told her that he would assist her in any returns or refunds that she would need for any money spent so far. Cammie was upset and said that she didn't mean for me to hear what she said and that she was never going to make any problems for us. I mean, she already did. She already did. Saying it out loud to his sister made a problem. He said it didn't matter that we were only inviting people to the wedding that love and support our relationship and that her actions show that she didn't. Cammie then started talking crap about me, saying that I think that I'm all that and that I believe I'm better than her. Eli cut her off and said, I don't think that I'm all that. But if she believes that I'm better than her, then she should evaluate her own insecurities and work on that. He then hung up. Antonio and I were so shocked, all we could do was laugh. She clearly has always felt this way about me, but was faking it to my face. I don't even know why she would think those things about me, as she's older than me and more successful. I'm still beginning my career and not even where I want to be to even believe I'm better than anyone. I'm just living my life and going with the flow. After the phone call, we all just discussed what happened, ate, and then Antonio left. He really didn't have any feelings towards the issue because he's now seeing someone else and has moved on from the situation, stating that she needs help. The next day was the day before Thanksgiving, and since my family was hosting Thanksgiving dinner, Eli's parents had a small gathering at their home for their immediate family and friends. Me and my fiance were invited, including his sister, her husband, Cammie, and his family. I really didn't know what to expect when getting ready to go there because I knew it would be awkward seeing Cammie in person after the argument the night before. My fiance didn't say anything, but I could tell he was still upset about everything. When we got to the party, everyone was already pretty much there except a few people. Before we even sat down or spoke to everyone, Eli told his family that he had something to say. Cammie was sitting off to the side with her parents and brother, not wanting to engage. He began saying that since it's close to the wedding, he might as well announce to everyone that if they do not love and support us getting married, they would be permanently disinvited from the wedding. His mom asked where this was coming from, and everyone was nervously looking around. That's so funny. He told her apparently there are people in this house that have an issue with him being engaged and that those people won't be allowed to attend. I'm guessing Cammie had already told her parents what happened because then her mom started to speak. She said that she thought it was tasteless to disinvite her daughter to the wedding after how long they had been close. Eli responded saying that he thought it was tasteless for her daughter to go to his fiance's bachelorette party, saying that it should have been hers. Mic drop. At this point, everyone was shocked, including me, because I had no idea he was going to address it to his family. They started to argue back and forth, with Ava's dad getting involved. Eli was having none of it and said that none of them would be invited except for Cammie's brother, who wasn't agreeing with what his sister had done. Cammie's family ended up leaving shortly after the confrontation. Eli's mom was shocked and hurt about everything that happened, but supported us. She said she would speak with her friend and that she felt it was all inappropriate. I apologized to her and Eli's dad, saying that I hated that this happened and that it is causing a rift. She and Ava told me I have nothing to be sorry about and that they all were on our side. Cammie ended up sending both Eli and Ava very long, nasty messages about how they weren't loyal to her and that I was purposely causing a divide between the two because I wanted to punt her out of the family and sabotage their relationship. This woman is delusional. So my fiance just blocked her. She then texted me saying that me and Eli's relationship wouldn't last very long if I became jealous of every woman important in his life. I blocked her as well. I may be a lot of things, but jealous isn't one of them. I'm happy and very secure in my relationship. Honestly, seeing how far he's willing to go to make sure that my day is perfect his words, not mine, just solidified to me more than ever that I'm marrying the right person. Thanksgiving was amazing and we had a good time with the family. Sadly, that night is when my brother got into his accident, so we had to deal with that. Everything is now starting to calm down and now me and my fiance can relax until next week. Then we leave for Palermo, Italy, where the wedding will be. I forgot they were having a destination wedding.
So
Very
that's what he paid her
cool.
back for, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I may update you guys in the future, but for now, this will be the final update. I'm willing to answer any other questions you guys may have for me in the comments. And there are some relevant comments. This seems like an overreaction given that Cammie was already distancing herself and never said anything. I think you and your fiance are full of yourselves. Dang. Like the speech was unnecessary. Telling others was unnecessary. Yes, you and your fiance escalated things and you talked like you should have beat her on or something when you eavesdropped on a private conversation. She admitted she was jealous and struggling. She didn't do anything to you. Anyways, you two drama queens, you and your fiance deserve each other. Weirdos. There's more to the story that I left out. I didn't go into detail on what she put in the long messages she sent to my fiance and his sister, but this is not an overreaction. This girl has been smiling in my face, acting like my friend, wanting to be best friends, knowing the whole time she had feelings for my fiance. Yes, maybe my fiance could have handled it a little better. I've already spoken to him about it, but he won't apologize for what he said. He meant every last word. I 100% back my fiance and how he chose to handle her and her parents. I don't want anyone around me who's secretly jealous of me. Those people are dangerous and cannot be trusted. I may be young, but I have sisters and close friends around me who I trust and have been in my life for over 10 years. I don't need, nor do I want, fake love and support celebrating with me on my wedding day. I didn't center myself at all. I didn't know how my fiance was going to take the news. Yeah, I don't think OP knew that the fiance was going to call them out at Thanksgiving. I think she was pretty surprised as well. He's normally the calm and thoughtful one. I think he really just felt blindsided and thought I would leave him, so he just wanted to set things straight before any other problems. The wedding is slowly approaching. We're both just super anxious and just trying to take in as many happy moments that we can. Bottom of form. Commenter 2 says, yes, she always gave me pick-me vibes. She always hung out with just guys. Her only real girlfriend was Ava. It always felt like she was trying too hard when she came around all the girls. Commenter 3 says, judging by Cammie's mother's first reaction, being to blame your fiance for the disinvitation, it's not hard to find the source of Cammie's behavior. Those two probably have the same thought process too. I would advise security for your wedding just to avoid some further avoidable drama. Never think too high of some people. Also glad that your brother is okay. Like the other had said, keep an eye on him because no one knows when the trauma will surface. And there is a final update. Addressing the comments, I'm here to clear some things up. My fiance did not address the issue at Thanksgiving dinner. The night before Thanksgiving, his parents had a small get-together at their home that included me, my fiance, Ava, Ava's husbands, Cammie, Cammie's brother, and parents. There was also another couple that was on the way who are friends of my in-laws. When we arrived, the couple hadn't arrived yet, so the confrontation did not happen in front of them, only our two families. I already spoke with my husband regarding his actions that night and told him I felt like things could have been handled a lot more privately. Once he was able to calm down about the whole situation, he also agreed. I just wanted to say that this is not something that my fiance does all the time. He's sweet, kind, caring, and loving. So seeing people call him aggressive for standing up for me is baffling. This morning, I expressed to my fiance that I think that he should apologize. He called Cammie this morning, telling her that although he does not regret anything he said, he could have handled the situation maturely. The conversation went absolutely nowhere because all she was trying to do was get him to change his mind, telling him that it's not too late to cancel the wedding. She took that as him being like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm over it, guys. It's starting to drain me and my happiness. Ava has also apologized to Cammie and also expressed to her that she had no idea she was going to be put on blast at dinner. I don't know and do not care what happens with their friendship from there. I won't be going out of my way to be involved. Disrespectfully, for those of you who believe that I'm the mean girl and that I like drama, kindly kiss my butt. Someone in the comments told me I won and that I got the man. WTF is this? Are you truly okay? My fiance isn't the prize. I will never fight over a man and go out of my way to be mean to another woman over a man. I actually liked Cammie, which is why she was even invited to my bachelorette party. No, we weren't super close. No, she wasn't a bridesmaid, but she was cool enough to celebrate with me. She always wanted to be the center when it came to the boys or getting attention. Not me. Before this, there hasn't really been any drama. Drama actually causes me high anxiety and it sprinkles to depression. But you know what I do enjoy? You guys listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. In case some of you didn't realize, everyone's names is changed for the sake of concealing our identities. Thank you guys for all the love and supportive messages to my little brother. He's doing okay, and he's being watched carefully as we are aware that some injuries can show up after the accident. For my mental health, I think this will be my last update. I thought I would update you guys for the wedding, but these mean comments take away that fun. I truly appreciate everyone who has left kind messages for me. You guys have truly put a smile on my face. And that is the end of that. I exposed my best friend's betrayal at her own engagement dinner.
Ooh, it's like she got her just desserts.
Ooh. What do you think of that? Backstory. I had a BFF that I, in quotes,
Ooh, important air quoted BFF.
that I suspected was not a good friend. I never really had actual reasons for suspecting that she wasn't. It was solely an instinct, a gut feeling, if you will. Hindsight is 2020, and I should have listened to my gut. By the way, this comes from Intelligent Sale 431, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. Anyway, let's call this friend and her fiancé Cindy and Paul. I met Cindy in school approximately 5 years before the crap storm. We quickly became party friends. You know, the kind you only party with. Sure.
Yeah, the party friends.
She was fun and always seemed to be looking for the next guy, regardless of her relationship status, which I found to be distasteful. But I mind my business and didn't consider us to be close friends. Eventually, we grew closer. She'd come over to my house and hang out at family gatherings. She always seemed to copy my fashion, makeup, gestures, and sometimes even hair color. She'd ask to wear my clothes or have me do her makeup, similar to mine. I thought nothing of it, despite other friends telling me they found her weird, as she did seem to want to behave, look, and do as I did. I thought it was a bit odd at times, but didn't feel threatened or bothered by any of that. When Cindy and I met, she was married, and I was in a serious cohabiting relationship with a man I'll call Simon. Cindy cheated on her husband, with whom I later found out to be her cousin's husband, and she moved the stolen husband in. Probably the same day. I don't know. Despite having been friends for so long, I later learned she led an entirely different life that I had no idea about and would have never allowed her close to my family if I knew about it. Anyway, the stolen husband relationship didn't last long because they both cheated on each other. Shocking that the cheaters cheated again.
I could have never possibly seen this coming.
Nope. Meanwhile, Simon and I were living our best lives and going on 5 years strong. Okay, brag. But suddenly things changed. We weren't on bad terms, but we weren't on talking terms. It was more of a, I'll avoid you, but I'll be civil if I see you. Fast forward a year and a half later, and many men Cindy's life later, I was in a relationship that quickly became serious. I wasn't surprised that our relationship was moving fast. After all, he was my first love, my high school sweetheart, whom I had broken up with before I went to college. Side note, he and I have been happily married since and have made a wonderful life together. You guys just need a little hiatus.
Yeah, just a little refresh.
A little refresh.
Just a little retreat.
Check out the other options. Loop back around.
Yeah. We'll circle back.
He also supported me while I moved in the shadows despite not agreeing with what I was doing. The call. Cindy was on the prowl for a new boo. And at a gathering, Cindy met one of my husband's friends, Paul. Of course, she sank her teeth into him immediately. Cindy moved at lightning speed with these guys, immediately moving them in and wedding planning even when she hadn't been proposed to. OMG, her obsession with having a wedding was insane. Paul quickly found himself engaged to Cindy a couple of months into the relationship. Yes, a couple of months.
Okay.
Paul would openly and loudly say that he never asked nor gave her a ring.
Ah, the classic only one person in the relationship is actually getting engaged.
He's like, just to be clear, we're not engaged.
And she's like, oh, he's so funny, isn't he?
Funny. He just always is making jokes.
What a character.
He's a little prankster.
That's why we're getting married.
And he's like, again, not getting married. Man is also not willing to break up with her. He's like,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, she's convinced that we're getting engaged, but I don't know. It feels like a problem that will sort itself out.
Gotta have a little bit of integrity, a little
Yeah.
self-respect there.
My guy. Yes, she bought herself the ring and paid for the wedding. She asked me to be her maid of honor, and I accepted. 1 month into the dumpster fire wedding planning, Cindy begins to complain that Paul was working overtime and wasn't meeting her needs in the you-know-what department because he was always tired. We went out a few times, and she left with random guys while I went home to the love of my life. Cindy lied to Paul, telling him she was with me or stayed over. I don't like that, OP. I think that's like not cool of you to be kind of letting that slide.
Kind of just like enabling that in a way.
Yeah, like you're gonna be her
I
maid of
mean-
honor. Obviously, this is on Cindy, but you know, I wouldn't want to be friends with a person like this. And 2, if I was gonna be the maid of honor in this person's wedding, presumably you know Paul.
Right. So it's like it puts you in a position where you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta lie through my teeth to a guy who's making a huge mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't do that. Cindy lied to Paul, telling him she was with me or stayed over. She never stayed at my place. I'm too grown for slumber parties. We don't do that over here. No, ma'am. I found out she was using me to lie to Paul, so I confronted her about it and told her how my husband and I felt about knowing she was cheating on a guy we were friends with. At that point, her wedding was 1 month away. She said she'd stop and make things right with Paul. Then I get the call from my ex, Simon. He says he couldn't deal with the guilt anymore and needed to confess that he cheated on me with Cindy towards the end of our relationship. He said he needed to tell me not just out of guilt, but that he hated to see how I was still being lied to by Cindy. Wasn't a problem when he was lying to me, though. Simon was likely confessing to make his way back into my life by trying to get on my good graces. Heck nah. Simon tells me Cindy and he started to text when we began to have issues. She would advise him to leave me because he deserved better. They met up at bars a couple of times and hooked up. They recently hooked up again, and Cindy told him that she was getting married and I was the maid of honor. Simon told her to come clean if she planned on continuing to be my friend. They argued over it, and he warned her that he'd tell me everything if she didn't. What's going on?
All of these people suck.
Terrible. Even OP, you suck too, because you're not telling anyone anything that's going on.
Right. You're letting Paul get married.
Cheated on?
Married to the serial adulterer.
And also just like incredibly unsafe from like an STD point of view.
Yeah. And then who's this guy? Simon.
Simon.
Simon's rolling in and being like, yeah, also I'm an affair partner of Cindy's right now.
Yes. And was when we were dating.
It's
Like,
never stopped.
Come on. The nitty gritty. I contemplated whether I should move in the shadows or confront her about her cheating and betrayal. Although finding out I was betrayed not just by a partner, but also by a close friend felt horrible, even though I had moved on. However, I was not angry or fighting over a man. I felt betrayed, fooled, and flat out disrespected by my so-called best friend who dared to make me her maid of honor after betraying me. At least Simon had the slight decency to exit my life after his betrayal. I was sure as heck pissed because where do you find the audacity? Like my friend Charlotte says, absolutely not. So I consulted a friend who is now my best friend, and we agreed I should give Cindy a chance to confess on her own by hinting that I knew about the cheating. After numerous hints, like me telling her Simon confessed he cheated with a friend while we were breaking up, how much more of a hint do you need, LOL? She instead decided to console me and tell me I should be glad I'm with someone way better now and Simon's trash, LOL. That really pissed me off. And said, screw the high road BS, and decided to unleash the petty revenge committee located in the depths of my anger. The dinner party. What is going on?
There's just a whole
Why
lot
are
of
we plotting?
nothing being said. It's like,
She's like doing a whole roundabout plot with no action. Just stop plotting.
are they like roommates? They
And
live
tell
together?
Paul.
Is there like
No.
a financial situation that would be upset if something comes
No.
out? Like, why are we waiting? This is also a level of deceit that I find personally disturbing.
Yes.
She literally cheated on you with your partner of
Yes.
5 years or
Yes.
whatever. And she has the ability, not just the audacity, but she can make you the maid of honor and not have an internal crisis about it,
Yeah.
which is absurd.
Crazy.
She's almost dangerous, I'd say.
Yeah. I told Cindy that I wanted to throw her and Paul a dinner with our closest friends, approximately 6 people, and it would be hosted at my now BFF's house. By the way, shout out to my BFF who moved in the shadows with me and restored my faith in true friendships. This dinner took place 2 weeks before the wedding. We sat everyone down, they ate, had some drinks, then I made the toast. I started by asking Cindy if she wanted to come clean now or if she preferred I do it for her. The look on her face was priceless. She knew what I was talking about 1,000%. However, not only do I move in the shadows, but I also move with receipts. So I invited Simon to join us via FaceTime while I made the confession announcement on her behalf. She tried to interrupt me and speak over me, but my BFF stopped her, and I made sure I spoke loud, fast, and clear. My only real regret about it all was Paul learning of the multiple times Cindy cheated in front of everyone. I can only imagine the horror that might have been, but I knew if I told him separately, he would not have joined us that night. I later apologized to him, he forgave me, and also thanked me for letting him know, although he wished it would have been in private. Yeah, OP. He is now happily married and has a beautiful wife and kids. As for Cindy, she spent the following 2 weeks begging me to say that I lied about everything so that Paul would go through the wedding. Delusional much? Paul ghosted her, and she spent several weeks trying to find him by invading his mother's home unannounced. I have no idea what lies Cindy told Paul's mom because she contacted my husband to warn him that I was the city's biggest loot and he should leave me, lol. My husband only pissed her off by replying that he loved that about me because he was one too, lol.
Cool.
Just an FYI, this wedding was going to be a simple backyard wedding. There was no large deposits lost other than the table and linen rental deposit. Paul's family was going to cook. I was doing hair, makeup, pre-wedding photos, and my BFF was bringing the DJ. Cindy bought herself her engagement ring and wedding dress. But lesson learned, I hoped. And you can learn your lesson right now. If you listen to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story.
Paul,
Somehow
you're out there listening to this. Be sturdier.
Paul, Duke of Arrakis.
You
thank
need
you. You
more
said it.
resolution.
It's been bothering me this entire time.
Yeah.
You
Someone
have to
said it.
see the path before you, Paul.
Stop. What does he say?
Maybe that's why he's doing this. Paul knew.
Yeah.
Paul knew the whole time.
Paul Atreides.
Paul knew that he had to be cheated on
Yeah.
and that he had to
He's
be...
like, I saw the path ahead of me. It was the only way. Cindy and I never spoke again, and thankfully we have never run into each other again. All of our friends, including her first husband, took my side, and we all remain friends. I never spoke to Simon again, despite his continuous attempts to contact me until he passed a couple of years ago. I did not attend his funeral out of respect for myself and my husband, but I did visit his grave months later to pay my respects and say a prayer for him. I always wondered, am I the a-hole for going about things this way? No matter what the internet's verdict is, I have zero regrets. But that's the end of that story. I invited 15 friends to my birthday celebration. None of them showed up.
Ooh, you invited 15 fake friends.
15 terrible friends. I, 27 female, made a WhatsApp group and invited 15 of my closest friends to my birthday party. I planned a nice themed dinner. The theme was Italy, Dolce Vita, at a nice restaurant with one live music act, a nice cake ordered from a bakery, and fitting the theme and decorations. By the way, this comes from Stella from Vienna, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to OK Storytime subreddit. So I wrote a heartfelt text how I want to celebrate getting older with my oldest and greatest friends, and I detailed everything that was planned for the evening in the invitation, and then nothing. Nobody replied, nobody said a word like thanks for the invite or looking forward or anything at all. After a few hours, my boyfriend posted a party meme in the WhatsApp group and wrote how excited he was to get it started. Still nothing. After almost 2 days, I posted a gif of chirping grills and made a funny comment, still thinking maybe people simply forgot to reply. After another day, I started texting people individually if they would like to come or if they are available that evening, and a few responded that they will let me know soon. Others didn't respond at all. After almost a week, not a single one of my friends posted into the group or messaged me if they would like to come to my birthday party. After 0 invitation acceptances and after reaching out several times, I felt so ashamed. Like I was begging the people to want to celebrate me or to come. I started to cry and I felt so depressed. Ashamed and humiliated, I just deleted the WhatsApp group. Nobody has asked me about that either. My birthday is now just a week away. I called the restaurant and canceled. I called the bakery and canceled my order. And I returned the decorations I bought. Maybe I was the stupid one for organizing all those things beforehand, but I was just so sure that at least a handful of people would like to come/show up. I'm just so sad. I have known most of my friends for at least 15 years. I was their bridesmaids, their child's godparent, their maid of honor. I was there at graduation ceremonies and birthday celebrations, and I am truly puzzled. Is it really such a burden to come to my dinner? A dinner which I would have paid in full and which I tried to make into a beautiful evening/event for everyone. I am just so sad and ashamed that I wasn't even worth a reply message. My boyfriend is trying to cheer me up, and he immediately got busy organizing a surprise birthday evening for me. He is wonderful, and I'm just so glad he and my parents care so much about me. Otherwise, I would just feel absolutely worthless. And there are some comments and an update, but before we get into them, what are your thoughts?
I'm shocked.
I know this is confusing because
I'm confounded.
my initial stuff before we got kind of deeper in was again, oh, you should text them individually, or like, oh, you know, sometimes people just don't respond in group messages. I just had was trying to think of a reason why, but
Is it the theme? Do they all just hate
the only
Italian Vida Dolce Vita?
The only thing I could think of that OP possibly could have done is maybe if no one could come, change the date. But
They weren't
even responding.
They were zero.
They weren't even responding.
Participation
Those
points.
that's not good
among
friends.
the friend group.
That is not good friends. Comment from Magic the Bothering. Who are these people? I can assure you it is extremely rare to have 15 close friends. OP says, mostly people I went to school or kindergarten with. They are as many as 15 because I invited my friend and additionally their partners. So 6 invitees were actually additional partners. And there is an update. I have read every single comment. The comments range from compassionate to giving advice or constructive criticism. All in all, reading all of them felt so incredibly uplifting. To the people believing I will get a surprise party, I really won't. I think honestly every one of my friends is in their own bubble and has their own stuff going on and just wasn't feeling it right now, which was definitely hurtful and rude, but at least it didn't feel malicious. About my friends, they're not bad people at all, but they are probably victim to a world where commitment in general is a rare thing to find, where rules and manners are slowly forgotten, and where being constantly busy is a good enough excuse for anything. I found it rude, but I will not confront them, but rather distance myself. They are my friends because in times of crisis, they were there for me and we share many good memories. However, as many pointed out, you do grow apart and this behavior might be a result of that. I talked to my boyfriend a lot and showed him some of the responses and he was very reassuring. He told me the fact that I cared so much, that I always tried to do things with love and care. That is one of the things he appreciates and loves most about me, and he never wants me to give that up. I also reflected on me and my character, and I will try and do better myself, as I also sometimes forget to reply to a text or cancel a lunch at the last minute. I will try to put the behavior out there that I would like to receive. I ordered myself a birthday calendar, an address book, and a couple of birthday cards, and I will note every birthday of a friend or acquaintance that I make and send them a birthday card. Too many of the comments talked about how the hurt they felt when people forgot their birthday and didn't show up, and I find the idea to try to do things differently soothing. P.S. Thanks also for the many birthday wishes. They made me so happy. And P.P.S. for all the people wanting to come to my party. I wish. That would certainly be so cool and make me believe that new friends are just around the corner. And a downvoted comment from DeSantus says, hard to agree with the majority here. OP, you are 27. That's well beyond being a child and well beyond expecting anyone to care about your birthday. Did you attend 15 birthday parties each year for all of these people? You probably did not. Or at least you can sympathize with people who are like, hey, we're in our 20s now. We all got jobs and chores to do. Can't we just simply hang out? The older you get, the more you need to stop thinking only about yourself. What do other people want to do that you like doing? Maybe next time arrange something that people would mutually like to do rather than a vanity celebration for something you should have grown out of 20 years ago.
Damn.
This commenter is so sad. What do you mean something that other people like to do? It's dinner. Everyone likes to eat.
They're just projecting, bro.
Yeah, no, they are. This is rage
projecting.
bait. This is rage bait. OP says, this comment is quite unfriendly, but I still appreciate that you took the time to comment. What a nice person,
Yeah.
OP. OP's like, this was really mean, but thanks for commenting.
Thanks for taking the time to express yourself.
But there is a second update. I followed the advice of basically everyone and asked a few of them what happened and why I wasn't even granted a reply or reaction, especially when I kindly asked all of them to RSVP until a certain date. To all the optimistic people, I have to disappoint you. There wasn't a surprise party planned. Also, all of them use WhatsApp regularly and all of them saw the invites. The group messages were ticked blue. Now for the responses / explanations, or as I like to say, excuses.
Ooh.
4 of them had possible alternative plans and couldn't decide if they wanted to go to my party or commit to the other plans. So they just didn't want to say anything until they decided on something. 2 girlfriends didn't have confirmation if their partner could attend or not, so again, they just didn't say anything because they didn't know yet. All of the partners were included in the group chat, though. One said she wasn't feeling too well lately and wanted to decide spontaneously to come. One had a valid excuse since she tried to find childcare for her 6-month-old all week long. She is the only one with a child and she actually found childcare. So we will do something with her and her husband. Woo! So the one with the valid excuse actually made, found a solution
Yes.
so she could come hang out with you.
One friend worth keeping.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe this is just. I wonder if all the other friends are like 27 or maybe in their mid 20s, and it's like.
Yeah.
There's something in this generation where it's like
super flaky.
There's just no clear communication, and
Yeah.
it's done from I think a hybrid of selfishness, and
It
then
is.
also this feeling of oh, I don't want to put anyone out.
I
So
hate it.
You're protecting yourself from feeling like you've done anything wrong,
But you're actively
which is
doing
the
something wrong.
selfishness.
Yeah.
But
It's
then
like
you're
the-
also obsessed with not wanting to upset anyone else, which then probably makes you anxious, and then you just go completely silent.
I told all of them how it made me feel, that it was rude, and that it made me cry and feel unwanted. I also told them that it is their loss because if they don't appreciate me organizing nice events in evenings, this is not the first time I had issues like this. There simply won't be any for them to attend in the future. They all admitted that their behavior was rude and unfriendly and were apologetic and told me they're sorry. One friend said he had really messed up, and after he saw I deleted the group, he felt pretty bad and wanted to approach me anyways. It's not ideal, but it is something. I will not cut them out as suggested by many. I talk to them, I express my hurt, and I will give them the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and to grow. They are flaky in a society that accepts flaky and non-committal behavior, which is so true. They are human and faulty, and I am also not a perfect human who does behave like this all the time. I know that this answer may disappoint some. I will, however, make room in my life for people who are more reliable and who would be appreciative and enthusiastic about theme parties and will not rely too much on my current friends. Get friends who are enthusiastic about theme parties.
Get friends who are more fun.
Get friends who come to your Renaissance party and dress up. By the way, you know what else is fun? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left in this story. All your messages were so uplifting and nice, and I honestly feel a lot better now, and I am starting to look forward to my birthday again. I also feel incredibly optimistic that I will find like-minded people and friends in the future, and I won't give up. I will throw nice parties and dinners again, and I just have hope in my heart that my friends will have changed a bit. And I will also have made new great friends by then. Thanks a lot to everyone, and P.S. to everyone telling me about their bad experiences, their birthday parties where nobody attended, and the moments that they felt lonely. I feel so sad for you and with you, and wish for every single one of you to find people who love and appreciate you. You all help me to feel less ashamed and less alone. And that's the end of that story. It's not you. I mean, sometimes it is you, but in this case, it's not you.
Quick caveat, could
Yeah.
be you, but
Could
probably
be
not.
you, probably not in this case. But that is the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you,
And see you tomorrow.